One more time from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. It's the final game of the Kubota College Baseball Series. 17th day we've had college baseball in this venue. 24th game with 16 teams competing. And this is how we cap it off. 5th-ranked TCU, their best start since 1985 against a team desperate for a victory. USC struggling coming in at 2-8. Hi, everybody. Welcome back inside Globe Life Field one more time alongside Ty Harrington. I'm Ben Wilson. Of the games we've had, 24 now. Maybe the craziest to kick off this weekend's events as TCU and USC played a wild 11-inning game. USC had a 2-run lead into the ninth. TCU could have easily won in the bottom of the half of that ninth. Instead, we went to extras, and now the only question is, how do we top what happened on Friday night?
I don't know. I mean, it's college baseball, number one, but it was a great game. Went back and forth. Each team was one strike away, one out away, one hit away, and it was an extra-inning game. Was a thriller to get it started. Today's a different day.
And for USC, have all the motivation after a couple tough losses. They lost to Texas A&M yesterday to go to 2-8 on the season, while TCU got the victory, taking out Arizona State. Here's how it played out, that 11-inning game. A little bit of everything. USC had the 3-run score to take a 2-run lead. They got a blown save off one of the better closers in the game in Ben Abelt. But it ultimately was the freshman Sam Myers who played the role of hero. Walk-off single in the 11th to get the job done for the Horned Frogs, who are off to an 11-0 start. Here's how the Horned Frogs line up today. They have made a couple of changes toward the back end of their lineup, including a true debut for a talented freshman in Micah Kendrick, who we will see for the first time. He's yet to suit up in his Texas Christian career, and he'll bat in that 9-hole today. Also, Luke Boyer's a true vet. We'll get a start out of that 7-hole, but really 1 through 5 remains unchanged. Ty, and a team that has proven they can hit the baseball really well with that 9-run output in game number 1, and then we're really good. TCU was yesterday in a win over TCU, able to put up 11 on the board.
When you're playing good and you're scoring a lot of runs and you're winning, you can kind of adjust your lineup. But what you're really trying to do is create some depth and try to give opportunities. Don't know when you're going to call upon somebody or injury happens, whatever it might be. But it just shows the depth that this group has at TCU.
Yeah, the 20 runs so far through the 2 games, and TCU will match up today against the righty on the mound for USC. It's Eric Hammond. See the numbers on him so far. 3rd appearance of the season for Hammond, a redshirt sophomore who's back in his home state from Keller, Texas. He's coming off Tommy John surgery from a couple years ago, and head coach Andy Stankiewicz says he was not pitching at 100%, but was still solid last year, 3-4, 4.82 ERA in the weekend rotation.
Well, he's going to get his chance in his home state. And so far, we've seen some of the Texas guys that have come back and performed pretty well, like Mendoza did. So buckle up. Here we go.
Final game of the weekend. Just after 3 o'clock local time as we're underway. First pitch is belted down the line. Peyton Chatinier wastes no time. 20 runs in 2 games for TCU, and right away on 1 pitch, Chatinier in scoring position.
That's known as ambushing a first pitch fastball. You're going up there thinking his MO is he wants to get ahead. Fastball right in the middle. I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to drive it to left field. Let's lead this game off with a double.
A rude welcoming to Eric Hammond's day today, who had 14 starts in 2023. And they're really working on his off-speed pitches a little bit more. They love the fastball that's in the mid-90s, and that's what Chatinier went right after. That sets up the hero from Friday night. Sam Myers was our player of the game. Had the walk-off single for TCU, and he digs in right now. Good look at the lefty. Up to 385 on the average, and he's swinging away as well at the first pitch. That one at 88. As you went back to that Friday night game, it was Chase Brunson who scored the winning run. The only change really on that top 5 of the order is Anthony Silva, who gets the day off today, but 1 through 4 unchanged. They do slide Curtis Byrne behind the plate today. Had been the first baseman first 2 games of the weekend, and it's 1-1 here to Myers.
I think what TCU did, I'm guessing on this a little bit, but I think they went to the scouting report and went back to the video of the last time that Hammond's gone out there, and he was throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs to the first couple of hitters. And they decided they were going to jump out there and get aggressive.
Upstairs 2-1 to Myers. Hammond has gone 4 innings each of his first 2 starts. Gave up 3 earned on 6 hits in a loss to Ohio State. Did perform a little bit better. 3 runs on 5 hits in a team win against Portland last weekend as they look to stretch him out. 82 pitches his last start. He's behind 3-1 here with that fastball. A guy who is really a fastball slider guy. They have been working on developing some other off-speed stuff for Hammond. A big physical presence up there, 6'4". But behind 3-1 to Myers as we're just underway. Myers, a big swing, pops it up on the infield. It's caught by Dean Carpentier, who came into the game yesterday. Say on Friday, did play in that game against TCU off the bench as a pinch hitter, and Carpentier now takes over at first base. USC had to do some shuffling in the game yesterday in the opener against TCU. Their second baseman Bryce Martin Grudzelanek was lost for the weekend in a collision at home plate, so they moved things around. Kaikia Harrison came in yesterday at third. Avery Covarrubias is back at shortstop, while Kevin Takeuchi, who started game 1 of the series, is in there at second. Little new look on that USC lineup. They moved Covarrubias to second yesterday, at least to start the game, with Martin Grudzelanek, the injury there at that position.
That time Hammond going to a first pitch breaker. Enough of that swinging at the first pitch fastballs.
Oh, 0-1 here to Curtis Byrne after the Myers pop out. I should say Ryan Jackson was the guy they brought into second yesterday. Now it's Takeuchi. So a little bit of shuffling here for Andy Stankiewicz. Team at a 2-8 start. The man is on the move. Pitch in the dirt. Perfect pitch to run on his shot. Yeah, he got a good jump. His team leading 7th stolen base this year.
Yeah, that's good timing right there. Obviously, he got a great secondary in this when the pitcher came and Hammond came into a set position. Just one little simple look, high leg kick, and he was able to get out of there easily to third base.
Byrne, a rope down to left field, and TCU picks up right where they left off yesterday. Curtis Byrne, our player of the game last night, has an RBI.
That's just a good piece of hitting and get a full fastball right in the middle of the plate, short stroke. He likes that pull side. He likes that left side of the field. You leave something middle in, he'll get after it with that barrel.
Thought on TCU and their duo of catcher options, Curtis Byrne and Carson Bowen. Byrne, who starts today behind the dish, and there's a good look at Curtis, the St. Louis native. It is arguably the best catcher duo in the country. And the stats now back it up this year, where Byrne and Bowen are 1 and 2. Bowen, a RBI ahead of Byrne on the team run batted in list. 29 combined between the two of them as Logan Maxwell digs in.
Fair to say they are pretty good behind the plate.
Yeah, it's just the offense we talk about, not to even speak of the experienced plate presences they have when they're in the field on defense as catchers. Hammond looks in at Logan Maxwell, who's finally healthy, and he booms one right back up the box. TCU with some good looking swings in this first inning, squaring up that fastball, and it's a third hit and 4 batters.
Yeah, that's just quality line drive swings, which we're used to this offense. We've seen them enough this weekend. Ball middle, let's hit it back in the middle. I'll tell you what they're doing a good job of. They're getting to the middle of the baseball, not underneath it, to the middle of it and driving it.
And here is the other part of that duo we were just talking about, Carson Bowen, who will play first today from Anaheim Hills, California, scoring off against a home state team in USC. Almost half of this normal everyday lineup from the state of California, as a called strike is in there, with their head coach Kirk Sarlos being a guy from Long Beach who played at Cal State Fullerton. So a lot of California connections here for TCU as they look to make it a Texas sweep over the Pac-12 schools. A slicer foul off the bat of Bowen. Well, Texas A&M finishes 3-0. TCU 2-0 so far this weekend, with USC and ASU a combined 0-5.
Yeah, it would have been fun to see the two of them play against each other. You know, just to see what that would look like. I'm sure they play each other probably pretty soon anyway, but I think from a fan perspective, for you and I'd have been curious to see which team would have come out on top.
This one is shot foul by Bowen, a matchup that very easily could be a super regional.
But yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, A&M was who they said what their stats said they were and are. You know, they're on-base machines. Good pitching, great defense. TCU offensive. And as you like to say, they know how to win that one-run game. You know, again, the old adage is you only got to win by one. Well, they have. They've played in a lot of close games, and they've had to play catch-up in a lot of those one-run games. A lot of ebb and flows for them.
1-2, swing and a miss. Good pitch by Hammond. Even though that fastball's been hit hard early, he goes right back to it, gets it past Bowen for the second out.
And after that fastball, it's a 90-mile-an-hour four-seamer just above the barrel. Got a little extra giddy up on it.
We saw this young man both pitch and hit. He was the Friday night starter for TCU, got the day off yesterday. Now he's back in there as a DH, Peyton Tolley. We'll just focus on the hitting side today, and that just caught him. Caught a piece of the jersey coming up and in, and its bases loaded now with 2 outs for TCU in the first, already with a run in.
I'm going to assume that ball just kind of grazed his jersey, because Tolley didn't act like it hit him. See him just stand there? Yes. I mean, I just must have grabbed that jersey just enough. And you know, it may have been yesterday his day off because it's his recovery day too from pitching. You know, to go through all that, and there's a lot of recovery work, and that may be why yesterday he, wasn't available to DH. He probably was available to pinch hit.
Luke Boyers takes a called strike on a curveball. Such a nice luxury to have for Kirk Saarloos. A guy like Boyers, honorable mention All Big 12 a couple years ago, was on the Fort Worth All Regional team 3 years ago. 4th-year starter, and they've been able to bring him off the bench each of the last 2 games. Watches that little slider action go outside, 1-1.
I saw this young man when he was a sophomore in high school from Bernie out in the San Antonio area All-Star game. And you talking about can pick him up and put him down and run.
Just outside, 2-1. Was a starting quarterback for his high school football team. Won a couple district titles in the long jump and track. Great all-around athlete, Luke Boyers. And has been up in some huge spots throughout his TCU career. Boyers off the end of the bat, shallow right center, long run for O'Vern. He makes the call, and the fastest guy on the field comes in to make the catch for USC. But an RBI single for Curtis Byrne gets TCU off the mark. USC coming up when we return.
Watch me. Watch me grapple, move, and pin. When I hit the mat, don't underestimate the grin. I've got state championships and medals to show. But it's about more than just winning. This you should know. Overcoming odds through therapy and care. The road was long. Now opponents beware. Watch me. Game-changing sports medicine at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Globe Life Field is your home for college baseball with 3 full weekends of action starting February 16th at the home of the Texas Rangers. It all starts with the Shriners Children's College Showdown presented by Kubota featuring Baylor, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, and Nebraska. Next is the Kubota College Baseball Series with Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Michigan, and Oregon State in Weekend 2, and TCU, Texas A&M, Arizona State, and USC for Weekend 3. To get tickets and learn more, visit globelifefield.com/collegebaseball.
That's how USC lines up today. It was a frustrating loss for the Trojans yesterday, going down to Texas A&M 9-3 after the crazy 11-inning loss 9-8 to TCU on Friday night. Avery Covarrubias back at the top of the order. Here's a good look at Avery, ready to lead off for SC. They put in Luca DiPaolo into the cleanup spot today. Backup catcher coming in, who did get a pinch hit spot earlier in the weekend. Also, our first look at Deuce Robinson, who is the two-sport athlete at USC, football wide receiver, who will bat toward the bottom of the order in Deuce Robinson. Austin Over back in his 9-hole where he started the weekend at as a second leadoff spot, and it's the way they line up against Zach Morris. Funny how things can change in a year. This time last year, Zach Morris was pitching at Globe Life Field for Arkansas against TCU. Now here he is. Was a really pleasant surprise coming in this fall. They weren't sure what they were getting out of the grad transfer, former Razorback. They've gotten him in early into the rotation. 6.75 ERA through 2 starts, but was better his last time out. Gave up 2 earned in 4 innings in a win. Was the winning pitcher over UCLA.
Well, that's college baseball, college sports now with the portal. With a grad transfer is different. That's always been available. Command is the issue for him. I mean, it's 7 walks in 8 innings. That would speak to the, the above 6 ERA. Not about the stuff. Well, it's really good stuff. It's going to be about his command, and so far he's off to a good start with it.
Nice pitch on the slider. Morris, a guy who got up to 94 with a fastball in the fall. Coach Kirk Sarlo said he really did a good job of developing the changeup. He's always kind of a fastball slider guy. Is this one sent back up the middle? Nice piece of hitting on 0-2 by Avery Covarrubias. The hard turnaround first, and Covarrubias is on board. As we take a look at the TCU defense, the Horned Frogs made 3 errors in the field on Friday night in that game against USC. Were much better yesterday in the 11-9 win over Arizona State. Luke Boyers was a defensive replacement late into the game. Now he gets to start out there in right, while Ryder Robinson shifts over from third to take over Anthony Silva's spot. Silva getting the day off, and they flip-flop the catcher and first baseman Carson Bowen over to first. Curtis Byrne behind the dish, as they were in opposite spots the first 2 games. Lefty-lefty matchup here as Galloway fouls it off.
I think Morris got a little bit too much plate on the 0-2 pitch. He was trying to get it off the plate, get him to chase, call a little bit too much of it. Rubius was able to drive it right back up the middle.
Couple stolen bases already this season for Covarrubias. He had one yesterday back in the first inning against Texas A&M. USC looking for that spark. It's been a tough year, 2-8. Playing all their games away from home this year with renovations going on campus. That one served back up the middle and through. Galloway just punches it back up the box, and it's back-to-back singles for SC right through the middle.
Yeah, this one's hit a little bit better than that first one. First one kind of a high hopper, just strategically through the middle. This one's got a little bit more barrel on it, stays on it. You can see his eyesight staying on that ball. Right off the barrel, right back through the middle. First and second, nobody out.
And Jacob Galloway aboard as Kevin Takeuchi started Friday against TCU. Back in the starting lineup. Takeuchi scored the first run of this tournament as he takes a fastball high and outside. And a double and a walk. Couple runs scored in the 9-8 loss to TCU Friday. He's back in there today. Talented freshman from San Diego. Launches a changeup down in the dirt. That's the new pitch this year for Zach Morris. Coach Sarlos asked him in the fall if he'd ever throw a true changeup, and they asked him, hey, throw us one, see what you got. And Morris threw one changeup. Sarlos said, yeah, you're going to start throwing that a lot more. He loved how it looked out of his hand. Right now he's feeling it a little bit. Back-to-back singles and now behind 3-0.
I'll tell you what, at this point, obviously he's going to take on 3-0. If he gets to a 3-1 count, I'd really have to make sure it's in a perfect spot before I'd take a swing at, get his pitch count up. Not going to matter either way.
Base is loaded. Nobody out for USC to start the game after TCU got one in the top half of the first. Big spot now for Luca DiPaolo. And a quick meeting of the minds as everybody brings in the infield led by the catcher Curtis Byrne.
That's a lot of reassuring. You're going out there to talk to your teammate, your buddy. You've been out there before. You've spent time with him in the pen. You've played live games with him. Go out there, just get his eyeballs up, get his face up, posture-wise, recognition of what's going on. Try to help him get his confidence back.
Here's DiPaolo. He was part of that crazy ninth-inning rally for USC the other night. Here, a slow roller. This will at least get one run home as the out is made. Shot in the 8 of Bowen, and DiPaolo does his job. Slow enough of a roller, no way to get two, and we are tied at 1 as Covarrubias comes across to score.
Well, he throws him a first pitch changeup and hits that ball right off the end of the bat. You're right, it wasn't hit well enough to get through, but soft enough to get the run in from third. And certainly, well, that's how crazy this game is every once in a while. You hit one off the end of your bat, bases loaded, and you get a RBI and tie the game up.
Sets up Carson Wells. He's also swinging first pitch, and another ground ball to the right side that gets a run home. 3 unassisted for Wells as Galloway comes home. Good start for USC manufacturing with runners in scoring position. Nothing too fancy, but they lead 2-1.
Get him 90 feet away at third base with less than 2 outs. You've got to get him in somehow, some way. You know, obviously you'd like to see guys in that situation, RBI situations, early in the count, taking big swings at it. Well, I say big swings, aggressive swings at it. But worst case scenario, as the count grows, you've got to hit the ball into the infield on the ground, get that guy in, or an outfield for a sac fly. Either one.
Carpentier now takes a first pitch ball. Well, the last 3 guys who have come up for USC, they were part of the 3-run ninth-inning rally for SC. They were down a run in the Friday game. Back-to-back hit by pitches to DiPaolo, a pinch hitter, to Chris Brown, who was in as the DH Friday. And as this one's taken down and in on Carpentier, it was Carpentier who came in. That was a huge spot. Bases loaded, and he drew a walk on the lefty closer Ben Abeltz. That was the AB that tied the game with the RBI. He's ahead 3-0 right now. Takeuchi over at third. Not surprising to see a lot more offense out of the gates as that 3-0 slider does catch a piece. 3-1 when the two teams combined for 17 runs Friday night. And SC gave up 9 in a loss last night. TCU allowed 9, but in a win. Nice fastball. 3-2.
Well, he's earned his way back into the count. Now that you've got back into the count, do you stay with a 90-mile-an-hour fastball? You go to your slider.
He tried to go slider, and it runs inside. Walk for Carpentier to keep the line moving for USC. And Kaikia Harrison, that beneficiary of the injury to Martin Grudzielanek, they had him come in, play third yesterday. And the sophomore made the most of his opportunity. You love to see that as a Coach Ty, don't you? When a guy comes in, 8-hole hitter, only had 1 hit last year as a freshman. All he did was go 4 for 4 last night. It was pretty amazing.
I mean, they got to feel pretty confident today going into this game. I mean, and you know, we don't know how long Martin Gonzalez's going to be out.
Oh, another hot shot. That caught a big piece of Morris. It takes the deflection right to Kendrick, who throws out Harrison. But as the inning ends, everybody's concern right now is with the Horned Frog pitcher, Zach Morris. And he is in a lot of pain. Oh, man.
That is so scary. I'm going to get a second look. I don't know if I want to.
I couldn't tell in real time if he got a slight deflection with his arm. This will be the look that tells us before it hit off the side of his head. I don't think so.
I don't think so. I think that got him pretty good. He's sitting up, and Danny Wheat, longtime trainer with TCU. He's been through a lot of this, and you can hear there's not a whole lot of sound in this stadium right now. Everybody concerned, and
the good news is he is alert, sitting up right now. They're checking out the side of his face at the moment. And Kirk Saarloos just observing right now. Understandably, a lot of concern here for the grad transfer from Arkansas. And that's great to see. And you see where that got him. Oh, man.
You can see the concern from his teammates, everybody.
So that ends the first inning. A ball that hits Morris in the side of the face, and just so lucky to be up from that as he gets a big hand walking out to the dugout. We'll step aside. That takes us to the second. Coming up next. Well, back inside Globe Life Field, a big sigh of relief as Zach Morris is able to walk back to the dugout under his own power. And you saw that big mark where the baseball hit him and the blood coming down just to the side of his left eye. And I know you've been in spots like that as a coach, Ty. Can't even imagine what goes through your mind. One of your kids you recruited, brought in, gets hit like that on the mound.
It's scary. I mean, I don't know the severity of the injury. He was able to get up and walk off. It's just scary because it's hard to defend yourself when you're in that position and when the ball's hit that hard. And you know what? It's scary for everybody. The hitter too. I mean, everybody goes through a lot of different emotions, and teammates, coaches, the individual, the parents.
Here, Ryder Robinson starts the inning with a base hit down the line as Ryder digs for 2. And you're so right on that, though. It impacts everybody.
It does. I mean, it just kind of, takes the air out of everything, and everybody gets, full focus on concern and interest.
Now you just do your best to try to move on, stay present in the game. TCU does have a pitcher getting loose in the pen. You would assume the Horned Frogs will bring in a new guy into the second inning here after that shot to Morris. And after that leadoff double, there's Ryder Robinson out at second. We get a look at a debutante, Micah Kendrick, who had a really good offensive approach back in the fall scrimmages. Kendrick from Rockwall in Texas, a true freshman, yet to play this year. Here's a good look at Micah, who digs in. What a moment this is. Make your debut in a big league stadium, Globe Life Field.
It's a great information place, right? I mean, you're out of your own confines of your ballpark in a big league park.
He shows bunt, takes a ball.
Trying to give him a chance to execute right here, get the runner 90 feet from second to third.
We are used to watching TCU try to get a bunt down against USC. That was a big part of the late game stages, and I believe that'll be a pitch clock violation. Yeah, he got 1 second left. Then the clock went dark before he made that move to second base. I think Hammond realized it too late that the clock was about to expire on him. So that is a ball, 2-0. Comes down and in. Kendrick, the number 9 hole hitter before Chatinier, the top of that Horned Frog order, comes back around. And taking all the way, that's down and in. A lot of traffic on those base paths for TCU. It's been that way all weekend. And now Chatinier, who ripped a double down the left field line on the first pitch of the game from Hammond, digs in.
Tell you what, when you get your first at bat in college baseball and you get on, it doesn't matter how you get. You're floating on air when you head down there. When you get the first base hit, walk, doesn't matter. And it's one of those at bats you take with you forever too.
There's Kendrick over at first. Well, Chatinier's had a few more at bats than Micah Kendrick over the years, the Ole Miss grad transfer. Takes a called strike. Offensive numbers didn't jump out of the page as far as Chatinier was concerned at Ole Miss, but he has looked a part of a dangerous leadoff hitter all weekend. Off to a .349 start, OPS of nearly 1,200. Now that throwback, that hit Robinson right on the backside. Eric Hammond right now trying to dig in, has given up a lot of hard contact early in this game.
That's a delay because he has such a hot leg kick, Ben. They're letting him go up and then kind of come down just a little bit and turn back to second, trying to prevent it because he's a little bit longer coming to home plate than a lot of the other pitchers, timing wise.
Nice pitch on that slider to make it 0-2. The guy who had a chance to go to the pros out of high school, a 19th round draft pick in 2021 by Arizona, decided to go to USC instead. And had Tommy John, didn't pitch at all as a freshman. Bounces that one on 0-2, and we have talked the number of pitchers, Ty, about the timing of Tommy John. Now, it's not all created equal as far as your return. And when he came back to SC last year for the season, he still wasn't completely recovered. And he still battled, started 14 games, ERA of under 5. I feel like this is the first season he's set up for optimal success. And he gets the foul ball back.
Everybody's bodies are different. Everybody's recovery is different. I mean, if I told you I had a senior one year, it got hurt latter part of his junior year going into senior year, and he was on the mound pitching competitively at 6.5 months. That's unheard of. One of the toughest kids I've ever coached in my life. Mitchell Pitts, who's from the DFW area, but bottom line is he somebody's can't. And then I've had guys that's been 16 months, 14 months. I mean, it's and really you need to be able to take your time. He didn't want to. He wanted to get going. He was a senior.
Fastball up and in here, 3-2. It's not really speaks to the individual, you know, and their desire to get back. It's really just the body. How does it handle the rehab and what you're trying to do coming back?
Yep, everybody's body's different. He trained up here at the Hogan training facility, and over the break. But you're right. Everybody's bodies heal differently. Just as everybody's bodies break down, you know, differently when they do, or because of injuries. But they've gotten that down to a pretty good science now. If you go to a good doctor, most of the time you're back within, you know, 10 to 14 months competitively pitching.
Good AB here by Chatinier. Fouls off the 3-2 slider. A lot of sliders so far in the mix from Eric Hammond, whose numbers were ridiculous in high school. He was the Dallas Morning News Fort Worth Star Telegram Pitcher of the Year in 2021 with a 1.06 ERA as a senior. Tried to go slider again, but missed inside. And TCU has them loaded for Sam Myers with nobody out.
It looked like that slider was going to have a chance. Kind of cut back and catch that inside part of the plate. Man, but it kind of backed up on him a little bit. Didn't have the same kind of bite and movement to it.
We'll see a mound visit here. Things not going well for Eric Hammond as Seth Etherton, the former Trojan. Already a lot of action going down in that USC bullpen. That's Michael Ebner. We were expecting to see this weekend and pitch in either of the first two games from Pasadena. Getting loose and in a hurry. Former big leaguer as well, Seth Etherton pitched 4 years in the majors in addition to being a SC alum. And USC's used so many arms already when you think about how this weekend has played out. 7 arms yesterday in a 9-3 loss to Texas A&M. 7 arms Friday in the 9-8 loss and 11 to TCU. Bases loaded for Sam Myers. Takes a ball. Now Myers has been in some pretty big spots. Was up with the bases loaded, nobody out in the 9th inning. Chance to walk off for TCU, but struck out against Josh Blum. Then made up for it with the walk-off single a couple innings later. Right now as a hitter, we're just waiting to see something over the plate with how erratic Hammond has been with the 2-0 count now.
You got to be looking in one window right here. If that ball falls in that window, put your best swing, best timing on it.
Right back up the box, off the mound and through. Myers with another clutch piece of hitting as 2 Horned Frogs score, and TCU retakes the lead.
Give these guys too many free bases. They're too good a hitters. It did. It went right back through the box, right where he was aiming and set up to hit a ball back up the middle, which is where his focus is. Good aggressive swing, but if you get into bad counts and you walk some guys, eventually you got to go to the middle or the white part of the plate, and it's dangerous. You got to do it with these Horned Frog hitters.
10 RBI on the early season for Myers as he sends Robinson and Kendrick home. First career run scored for Micah Kendrick. That's a 3-2 TCU lead. Called strike taken by Byrne. And we're only in the top of the 2nd. to the left side. Byrne, a base hit. They go station to station as TCU sets up for what could be a massive inning. Byrne with another single in his second plate appearance already.
And he loves this side of the field, doesn't he? He's hit a handful of baseballs over there. Good swing. I tell you, we talked about a minute ago. If you give him something middle in or even middle, he sets up right in that shortstop area, line driving between shortstop, third baseman.
3 hits in the first for TCU, 3 hits already in the second. They have come ready to swing away. And if you don't have your A game against the Horned Frogs, you are seeing what can happen. Change up for a called strike on Logan Maxwell. That's just the reality with how good this lineup is. Maxwell now healthy, off to a great start, hitting over 400. And he belts one to right. Long run for Wells, makes the play. A diving catch to at least save 1 run. It will be a sac fly as TCU adds another on a ball scorched to the outfield by Logan Maxwell.
That's a great swing, and he gets every bit of this ball on a line. But I'm going to tell you what else it is. This is a great play by Wells and a big moment. That's bases loaded. They need something defensively to pick them up. Even though they get a run in, it's a great catch.
Now 4-2 TCU. First out recorded on the hardest hit ball of the inning. And it's Carson Bowen, the only casualty on strikes so far by Hammond, digs in. He takes a curve out of the zone. Kind of feels early too, Ty. Like if it's an early pitch in the zone, TCU is swinging and they're making really hard contact. It's either that or a ball.
Yeah.
And they're playing from ahead the whole way.
Yep, you're exactly right. You've been able to connect with some of them first pitch strikes.
It's good location there. Swing and a miss on 1-0.
Easier said than done than what I'm about to say. That's what you got to. That's how you got to throw it. That's how you got to execute that fastball away. I mean, that's a 90-mile-an-hour fastball away on the corner. Good life to it. Great angle coming downhill.
Nice location there. Goes to 1-2. Saw John DeLore down there a second ago. Third base coach for TCU. Hey, he's been a busy man. Got to do some arm exercises when you're third base coach for an offense like TCU, man.
They like the company when you're the third base coach. If you don't like being over by yourself, that means you got to go visit with the umpire.
Poke to the right side, right over the head of Takeuchi. Another superb piece of hitting with 2 strikes. Horned Frogs just pouring it on. 5 early runs on 7 hits.
That's a great at-bat. Look, there's 2 great fastballs away by Hammond. He goes back to the breaker on that same line. That's a commitment to a 2-strike. I know he's going to throw me a breaker. I'm going to try to hit it the other way. I'm going to stay on it longer. That's just a great hitter adjustment.
Team leading 16th RBI of the year for Carson Bowen. As Peyton Tolley returns to the plate, the 6'6" junior. And he's ready to hack. Foul tips that one back into the glove. Another big hack, this time to the changeup. Tolley was given the rest day yesterday after starting Friday night. He was not just resting though, Ty. He was given that role of the, well, and recovery, but he was also given the role of hype man in the dugout.
How was he?
Giving all the hugs, the high fives.
Oh, part of recovery.
Got ready. That is part of recovery. And jams it foul on 0-2.
What I mean by recovery day is pitchers the day after, they go through extensive work. I mean, it's changed nowadays. Used to be you just send them out there and go run them and let them sweat. And Nowadays, there's a lot more to it, a lot of preventive work, meaning moving forward for your arms, back, leg, everything, and some exercise to try to keep your stamina up. So it's an intense day.
Foley golfs this one into medium center field. O'Vern right there, not deep enough to allow Byrne to tag up. Second out for Hammond, just trying to work through it right now and limit the damage here with how potent the USC offense is. We're only in the second inning. Feels like there is so much more baseball to be played here. 5-2. You even said last night in what was a 6-6 game, you're like, there's no way that we're done with the scoring, and then it ended up 11-9.
I've seen enough of these in my lifetime to know that the way it was going, that you could just envision, all right, they're gonna both teams are gonna keep scoring.
Luke Boyers up. He goes back up the box, and Boyers delivers an RBI. Byrne trucks around third. Going from first to third is Bowen. They throw back to get Boyers, and he's safe. Somehow got around the tag from Covarrubias.
He gave him the old swim move. Going into second base, he was dead out. Well, I say dead out. He had a chance. They were going to get him on the backside. First of all, it's a great job of hitting the ball back up the middle. Stung that thing. I'll tell you what, there's been a bunch of hits back up the middle already today. Comes around, they try to go to third base. They let it ride. She was going to be safe. They go back over to second. Watch his swim move. Pull your left arm away and keep your right arm on the bag. It's a big time slide.
And that does it for Eric Hammond's 8 hits in an inning and 2/3. Tough start for the Texas native as he exits 6-2 already for TCU as we get our first look of the weekend at Michael Ebner when we come back. Horned Frogs mashing early in Arlington. A 6-2 lead for TCU in the second inning, chasing starting pitcher Eric Hammond. And the inning's still alive because of this great slide by Luke Boyers.
Watch this right here. Eyes up, sees the ball, goes through, dive in. You're taught to pull your hand back and make him miss him. And you got, let me tell you something. That doesn't happen by just instinct. That is practice. That is something that TCU spends time on, works on. He knew it too. Left hand in there, gave it to him, pulls it away. It's a veteran slide by a veteran baseball player.
Let's look at Michael Ebner, who comes in. I should correct myself. He has pitched this weekend. I guess when we've seen about 15 hours of baseball time.
We have.
Sometimes forget guys you've already seen. First pitch is sent down the left field line. Long run. That will just go foul. So Ebner came in the 6th inning Friday night. At the time, USC had a narrow lead. But Ebner struggled in his inning of work, gave up a couple hits, including a 2-run double by Sam Myers. So trying to bounce back. It was a good start to the year for Ebner. Scoreless outings in his first 3 appearances of the season. They got charged with 3 earned in a third of an inning the other day. This is down and in on Ryder Robinson, who started this inning off with a double. Big wave and a miss on a changeup. Goes 2-1-2. I guess that's the good news when you're only in for a few batters. You struggle. You know, as a pitcher, maybe you take the next day off, but you're still live to get out there in the weekend series. And a chance for some redemption.
That's why you try not to overexpose some guys on Fridays.
Yeah, but he hits Robinson on a 1-2 pitch. And the inning continues.
They've made 3 mistakes already this game. An 0-2, or I'm sorry, two strike counts. 1-2 and 0-2. Throwing balls in the middle of the plate, and then burying a breaker on his ankle.
They had the base open. Now they're loaded for Micah Kendrick. First career plate appearance. He walked and scored earlier this inning. Digs in a 1 count. Pretty rare that in your first 2 plate appearances of your career they will come in the same inning, but that's the case today. And watches that fastball just miss 1-1. TCU, 6 of their 8 hits already have come with runners on. This one is fouled off. Big hack on 1-1.
He sure did. He took a big swat. That was, I'm going to get my double. I'm going to get a base hit, and drive somebody in.
USC just trying to remain in contact right now and stabilize things. While Kendrick has a chance to blow it open. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Power fastball gets past Kendrick, but TCU puts up a 5 spot as they lead it by 4 early. Another tremendous field of college baseball at one of the best venues in the country, Globe Life Field in Arlington. Today's broadcast is brought to you by Kubota. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. Final game this weekend. A beautiful Sunday outside. We're here in the friendly confines of Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers, and a lot of offense. 6-2 early as we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. We'll get a look at a new pitcher on the mound. Storm Hierholzer is into the game for TCU. Again, the good news is exiting that 1st inning, Zach Morris, he took a line drive to the side of the face. He was helped up. Left the field under his own power, was able to walk off back to the dugout, but certainly no reason in putting him back out there as they have to go check him out. And it is Hierholzer, redshirt junior from Austin, Texas, up to 92 with the fastball back in fall.
Well, we can hopefully assume that he's going to be okay. I mean, it really got him pretty good. Obviously, you could see that knotted up. How quickly it rose up on the side of his head, and I know I'm going to certainly hope and pray he's all right, too, because it's just unusually that it happens, but when it does, it's scary.
It was one of those line drives. This place went dead silent. And Morris, as we talk about now, out. Herholzer in. It's his first appearance of 2024, who missed all of last year, had off-season surgery after making 7 appearances a couple years ago. Is in his 4th year with the club and finds the outside of the zone. Great matchup here against Deuce Robinson, freshman from Phoenix, 6'6" wide receiver on the football team. Only a couple ABs so far this year, looking for his first hit on the baseball diamond. He ropes one down the line. How about that for your first hit? From catching passes from Caleb Williams in the fall to legging out extra base hits, Deuce Robinson can do it all, and Deuce has a double.
He gets it kind of an inside floating, looked like a secondary pitch he was. That's a pull side swing he put on it, pulled it right down the line. I was watching him run the bases, and it looked like he was running out for a fly pattern. He was moving.
I think both teams came into this game understanding you have to swing the bat.
Yeah.
Not going to be some 1-0 pitcher's duel type game today, as this one's down and in on over. And just really aggressive approaches for both sides. Think about the speed, though, that USC has when they set up, this newfound weapon, a sophomore in Kaikia Harrison batting 7th, swing and a miss here by Overn. You get the literal wide receiver in Robinson batting 8th. Overn, who led the country in triples last year, batting 9th, and then a really good freshman with speed in Covarrubias at the top of your order.
Yeah, that's a lot of speed at the bottom, swinging back to the top.
A bunt down, but that one hit off of Overn while he was still in the box, and a foul ball. Count goes to 1-2.
Trying to get on with a little drag bunt base hit. Third baseman was playing back just enough. Also, with it being a new third baseman, going to test him out, see if he can come up and defend a drag bunt.
And stays alive, fouling it back. And Micah Kendrick, that third baseman, in his first career start. Over in a preseason All-American and All-Pac-12 player. Oh, that one comes in and gets Overn. 2-1 with nobody out. You just wonder on the mound, too, for Herholzer. It's his first appearance in 2 years, too, trying to shake off some of the rust, even though he has gotten a lot of action throughout fall and into the inter-squad scrimmages. But nothing can replace the live action.
No, that's right. Just kind of overcooked that one a little bit, pulled it.
Avery Covarrubias shows bunt. Covarrubias can't get that one down as it's fouled off.
If you're watching this game and you're a longtime baseball fan and you're going, what? 6-2, second inning, why are they bunting? Well, they feel like, the starting pitcher's out of the game, so they're already moved on to another, so they feel like they're going to score. And so they want to make sure if they get a chance to move guys, they're going to move them.
Covarrubias pulls the bat back there on a curveball that's out of the zone.
That means that they want to cut into the lead. So they feel like their best way to do that, maybe let's try moving them over, get them second, third. If we execute the bunt with one out, we've got the heart of our order coming up.
A good eye there. Watched a 93-mile-an-hour fastball just inside. Erholzer has added a couple miles of velo to the fastball since coming back from injury. In his 12th career outing. Now pop up on that, bunts. It will go out of play, foul. Now 2-2 as that goes out of the question. It's also always tough too. You think about bunting against a pitcher who has a reputation for being a little bit wild. And Erholzer 11 walks, 11 Ks in his career. You know, film on him now in 2 years in real game action. That can be tough when you're trying to bunt.
And you're trying to go to third baseline with it, and he throws a heater away. It's hard to hook. It's hard to get your barrel out there far enough to hook around it.
Fights off a good-looking curve. Count stays 2-2.
Yeah, that's not a slider either. That's a curve. I mean, that's a 79, 80 mile an hour curveball. I mean, he's taking his hand and getting his fingers over the top of that thing. A little more downward tilt to it. It shows his arm strength and his arm speed.
Joss misses on the fastball. 3-2 to Covarrubias. USC looking for a rally here. Team that was middle of the pack, most offensive categories last year in the Pac-12, won 34 games a season ago. And right now the focus is any sort of spark to dig them out of this 2-8 start to their year. Covarrubias to the right side. That one's fielded, and the throw is just in time. Shotye did really well to get over and make that play with how well Covarrubias runs.
This is a really good defensive play. High hoppers, you got to outrun the ball, get a deep angle, go almost beyond the baseball, then you're going to make a 360 turn and spin and throw. Good play. Got him too. Good play.
Ends up being the sacrifice USC was looking for the whole way, just in a roundabout fashion. And now Jacob Galloway, who singled last inning and scored. USC had the first three reach in the home half of the first. Got both runs across on RBI groundouts. Swinging a foul back by Galloway on the first offering. You have the wide receiver on the football team out there at third, Deuce Robinson. Galloway is known as the quarterback of the defense, really good vocal leader. Was really consistent throughout the fall. Back up the middle, another base hit through the box as USC's Galloway drives in two, and the Trojans are right back in it.
Well, now you understand why they were trying to move the runners. It felt like they're going to be back in the middle part of the order. Another line drive right back up the middle. It's unusual, and I don't know how many it's been. It's unusual that we've only played almost 2 innings, and so many base hits have been right back through the middle of the field from both teams.
And the approach has been very simple so far. Galloway leads the team in hits and RBI, so he continues his hot start to the year, tacking on RBI number 8 of the season as it's a ball to Takeuchi. 6-4 game. We are just getting started. A long way to go. Final game of this Kubota College Baseball Series. Takeuchi watches that curve in there for a strike, 1-1. Nice pitch to catch the outside.
Yep. You're dead on. That's a good down on the way fastball. You can be a college pitcher, you got to be able to connect on throwing heaters away. That's probably, if not 75% of fastballs are thrown. College hitters have a hard time staying on balls away from them historically. You got to be able to go extension side. If you're a right-handed pitcher to a right-handed hitter, you got to be able to go to that first base side of the plate, You carry that ball a little bit further. You gotta be strong enough, flexible enough to get it out there.
Watches the curve bend outside 2-2 to Takeuchi. Did a guy with one of the better names you will see in college baseball on the mound, Storm. He can throw with some gas up to 94 on that fastball. He goes inside on him. That's a soft line drive. They let the ball drop and then it's thrown away into the dugout. One of those awkward in-between plays there, Robinson. It's like, do you come up and catch it on the fly or do you let it drop? He was sacrificing the speed there of Galloway, who goes out as he forces him out, but then throws it away, and Takeuchi can take second.
Well, he makes the right choice. Lets it bounce. Bare hands the ball, mind you, too. I'm going to see. Yeah, I think they're going to review this, and I would, too. I don't think he touched the bag. I think his feet were straddled on the bag, and that's what Andy Stankiewicz is going to go ask for. On the second replay, I saw it because he caught the ball barehanded, and I was like, did he get any of his feet on it? Oh, he did. He caught. Looks like he caught the front corner of the bag.
We will get a review, though. Chris Griffith, our home plate umpire. John Wolf out at second, who made that call. They're explaining it to Kirk Saarloos right now what's going on.
I would have asked you. I mean, because again, when I saw it live, I was like, were his feet outside the bag when he barehanded that ball? And then that second replay, it looked like maybe we're going to get a great look at it. It looked like his left foot barely clips right there, the front edge of the bag.
It seems pretty definitive that he made contact.
Look, what's right? I thought I saw the bag move in full, in regular speed or regular time.
Regardless, USC will get a runner in scoring position with this. And it is an E6. It's just a matter of how bad will the damage be.
Yeah.
So they will confirm the call. That's our word from the truck downstairs. It's always such a weird place, too, because you're so much going through your mind, right? In like a second and a half time to react. Like, do I want that runner to be at first? Is it a slower runner at the plate? Can I catch it? What do I do?
Yeah. You know? Yeah, ultimately trying to get a double play out of it, ultimately. But you know what they ought to do someday? They ought to give an umpire a microphone. And when he stands out there with those players doing a review, it would be entertaining to hear what's discussed between the players and the umpires. Nothing bad. I'm just saying to be entertaining to hear their thoughts and what's going on at that moment in those discussions.
The Major League umpires get mic'd up now, but only to make the announcements of reviewed plays they have. They don't get it on the field umps yet, at least. That one's outside on DePaulo. Fastball cracks the glove of Curtis Byrne. 1-1 to DePaulo, who drove in a run with that RBI ground out last inning. Coach Andy Stankiewicz really likes the presence that DePaulo has when he's at the plate. Big physical kid, California native. At 227, 2 homers last year. They had a really nice fall and hit a 3-run homer in a scrimmage against Pepperdine. So the power's there, just trying to unlock it a little bit more consistently for a guy who right now is the backup catcher. 1-2. Just caught a piece.
I like that pitch. That's a 93, 94 mile an hour fastball in on a right-handed hitter. He's got the first base plate side of home plate wide open right now. Between that, when you start running that fastball underneath them, they got to get sped up. You can go breaker away. They're going back in.
Continuing to work in on the hands as DePaulo stays alive. It's been a hitting clinic so far in this game. 6 for TCU, 12 hits combined.
And we're not done in the second yet.
No, we are not. A lot of baseball left. Each team into the bullpen. This one poked into foul territory. Bowen had too far to go as that one goes into the furthest acreage of open space down the right field line. Another chance for DePaulo.
Look, Boyer's throwing that ball up into the bleachers. That young kid making a friend out there.
A lot of ground to cover out there for the fielders. If it's not deep outfield, there is a good amount of foul space here. Globe Life Field, 1 and 2 coming to DePaulo. A lot of offense early in this game. Another chance with the runner in scoring position. And a good battle. DePaulo stays alive once again.
They're staying in there. Oh, that's three. 3 out of the last 4 pitches have been right up underneath him.
There's another look at that throwing error that even put USC with the runner in scoring position. Takeuchi down there at second. DePaulo trying to drive him in. Good battle, man.
It is.
The pieces are there for DePaulo. Coach is feeling like it's in place for him to have a breakout sort of campaign. Like 1 for his first 16 to start 2024. Fights off another one. This time they go front door curveball. And that is great to see. Zach Morris.
Dang right, that's good to see.
A second ago we saw the bandage. It's on the other side of his face. And how that thing swelled up. So he's back with his teammates in the dugout. And the best news you could hope for. A little poke job out the center. Myers coming in and makes the catch. Gerholzer wins the long battle against DePaulo as we go to the third. 2 more runs for USC, making it a 2-run game. Two-run game as we go to the third inning. USC gets a couple more runs in the home half of the second, and their head coach, Andy Stankiewicz, kind enough to join us right now on the broadcast. Coach, what do you make of the early offensive approach of your team? A lot of quality ABs, it looks like.
Yeah, solid, good answer back right there. We needed it. When you give up a 5 spot, you know, you're like, oh, we better get back in here. We got to put some quality at bats together, like you said. And I think we did a nice job of that, right? Using the middle of the diamond, putting the ball in play. You know, you put the ball in play, you got a shot. You don't got a shot. So we're just trying to encourage guys. You know, this be tough. Let's be gritty. Let's get tougher in our 2-strike approach. So I like what our guys have done.
Coach, I got to be honest with you. A couple of times throughout the weekend, I know you guys haven't won yet, but every time you guys have gotten down, your kids have been incredibly resilient, competitive. Obviously, I've watched you, known you a long time as a coach and a player, and I think they're following your example. But I tell you what, they've got a lot of competitiveness to them, and there's not a lick or quit in them.
Well, I appreciate that. That's just, it's got to be a mentality, as you know, boss, right? Just stay in the fight, man. It's a long season. It's you get down a little bit early. It's a long game. Just keep quality approach, right? Stay in it, keep grinding. Just trying to go pitch to pitch and just trying to develop a little bit of a mentality and grit, you know. And so they're learning. They're learning. They're paying attention. They want to be good. They're working hard. Like you said, we've come up short two days in a row, and we sure love to get out here with one. But we know we've got a great opponent over there. They surely know what they're doing. So we got it. We're up against it. But all these challenges are good for us. It's good for our program.
Big theme has been production from your youngsters. How about your two sport athlete, Deuce Robinson, first career hit last inning with the rope down the line?
How about that? Yeah, he's a key, man. We just got him. He's raw, as you can see, man. He is raw as raw can be. But, man, he's shows up every day ready to practice, and football wants him back already. And so we'll have to figure that one out as we get further in the season. But sure, we sure enjoy having him.
That's great. Coach, thanks so much for the time all weekend. I really appreciated it.
You guys, appreciate you. Thank you.
Year-round sport that is football already. Spring practice is going on. Deuce Robinson, first career hit last inning, and this shot toward right field. Another nice play by Carson Wells. That is two beautiful sliding catches he has made in the field as he robs Chatinier.
We've seen some good right field play this weekend, haven't we? That's a line drive. You got to run, turn your fingers down on your glove like a catcher. Turn your fingers down. Use your webbing as you slide, like you slide into second base. It's a textbook catch right there, but a good catch.
With so much ground to cover too in these big league parks, and just to get the positioning in the first place to even have a shot, and then you have to execute on the catch itself. Really good stuff. Sam Myers, the drag bunt. Oh, it's a thing of beauty, and he beats it out. This kid can do everything for TCU. What a great freshman the Horned Frogs have in Fort Worth.
Puts it into the triangle. I'm going to tell you what, this is called the Bermuda Triangle. He does an excellent job of taking his bunt with him. Watch him hook the bat. Now you're trying to make the pitcher and the first baseman chase it. And all you're trying to do now as a hitter is outrun the pitcher. See how he hesitated? He's got to pick it up. You're just trying to outrun him to the bag.
A little bit of everything out of Sam Myers this weekend. Good defense, clutch, timely hits. The drag bunt when you least expect it. It's a 9th hit already. And TCU third time through the order here in the third inning. 6-4 game. A lot of action out of the gates. And Michael Ebner back out for another inning of work. Got the final out of that 5-run seconds after Eric Hammond was chased from the game. Curtis Byrne 2 for 2. Couple of hard hit singles back up the box. Runner goes. Throw down toward Myers, and they got him. Beautiful throw by Luca DiPaolo.
It's a good enough throw. The release was really impressive. His footwork, the release is quick. Look at that. It's that right foot down, and then the tag. This is textbook. I'm telling you, this is a great tag. Goes up the line, leans back with his glove to tag him. That's a good catch or good throw and catch and tag.
Takeuchi making the tag down. So that wipes out the base runner. Nobody on now with 2 outs. And a smash back up the middle. Overn reads it well and makes the catch. The USC pitcher could use that in the worst way. They get caught stealing and end up getting through the inning without any runs crossing the plate. USC with 2 runs in each of the first 2 innings. Just manufacturing after loading the bases in the first. DiPaolo, then Wells. Little RBI groundouts getting the job done, each to the right side. That gave USC the lead. Then after giving up a 5 spot in the second, they get a nice answer. Jacob Galloway, 2-run single back up the box to score Deuce Robinson and Austin Overn. This is anybody's game. 6-4 as we go to the bottom of the third. Storm Herholtzer back out there for another inning of work for TCU. This is the 12th all-time meeting. TCU leads the series all-time 6-5. Last time they met was back in March of 2020, right before the shutdown. It was TCU who went out to LA. USC took 2 of 3 in a home series against the Horned Frogs. Andy Stankiewicz was not yet the head coach of SC. He's only been there since the start of last year. Did a great job. 34 wins in year number 1. We'll get to see Carson Wells. He's rewarded now. Leads off the inning here, Ty, after a couple great plays in the field.
And it always kind of seems like well, you always hear everybody say it. My guy makes a great play. Guess who's coming up, right? But you're right. He's made a couple of them this weekend, and I've been impressed for the most part. As a coach, you know, you can't ever take the evaluation out of you when you watch another team and how they're playing each player, and then you break down in your mind as a coach, how's the outfield play, how's the infield play, to catch all those. And overall, with everybody out here this weekend, the outfield play has been impressive. What have we seen? 6 diving catches, 5, sliding diving type catches, and it's been good.
For the first time last half inning as well. One of these pitching staffs gets through a half inning without allowing a run. We'll see if things slow down as far as the pace go, but Wells trying to keep it going. He had one of those RBI groundouts back in the first as he takes a called strike. And as this one rides outside, the other factor going forward now, Ty, you've had both pitching staffs been really taxed in the bullpen, and where do they go next here with a whole lot of arms, a lot of pitches thrown over the previous 2 days?
Well, there's always somebody out there that you are hoping to see do good, thinking might do good, and then they get out there and they do good. I mean, that's how you discover the guys. You've recruited them, you brought them there, you've developed them, you've worked with them. Every once in a while, they just need a shot and need their moment.
This pitcher out here for TCU, Storm Herholtzer, has not pitched in 2 years. He's down the count 3-1 to Carson Wells, leadoff hitter in the third inning. And a foul back by Wells.
He probably knew he was in relief. I mean, again, everybody knows you get it on a sheet of paper, or you're communicated to before the game that, hey, you're in long relief, short relief, and so your timing, a possibility, and he probably knew that. Now, I don't think he certainly expected to be out there as quick as he was under the circumstances that he was brought out there.
Another foul off.
Come to the park ready. Every coach tells their players that, and some of the players follow it. Some of them think about it, and if it doesn't happen the first couple times, then they kind of lose sight of that, but you never know.
The battle going on right now. TCU known for its pitching, but a lot of that is because of the depth in general. It's a TCU team that rode a lot of different arms last year, finished 3rd in the Big 12 in team ERA, 3rd in strikeouts. Think about where Cole Klecker was at last year, who we saw as the Saturday night starter. Nothing guaranteed, but he came out, took the ball pretty much every weekend, and all of a sudden you look up and he's starting games for you in Omaha and pitching well. Another 3-2 to Wells. Just inside. Good eye there by Carson Wells as he draws a leadoff walk.
And it almost looked like he was able to pull this ball back. Yeah, it was in. Looked like he tried to drag it back into the plate side. He set up away. Sometimes when you set up away and then they throw it on the inner half, it looks like you're reaching so far back across the plate. Umpires don't see it as, won't give you the corner, even if it is just off the edge.
USC with their 3rd walk drawn as a team. Now Carpentier digs in. And fastball does find the inner half. Carpentier with that last base hit. His first. Nice moment for the true freshman. Had a couple of youngsters for USC collect their first career hits in this weekend. Carpentier, that moment he came up in, drew the walk with the bases loaded Friday night. Swing and a miss here. It's actually the walk in the last inning for Carpentier. So he's drawn a couple walks now this season and in the weekend. For his head coach, Andy Stankiewicz, not afraid to throw a lot of underclassmen into the fire who he likes and is high on, and he's been rewarded with some good performance.
That's what you brought him into the program to do. Right? You just got to have the confidence to let him go get it.
Change up down and out of the zone. This was rated a top 25 recruiting class. If you look at a lot of the recruiting sites out there, Trojans replacing 12 seniors who were on the roster last year. And Carpentier, one of several guys who was a freshman getting the opportunity to play on the infield. And the big loss last year was Johnny Olmstead. Honorable mention, all conference, was a 19th round pick by Miami, which extended USC's streak. They have had at least a draft pick, as this is fouled off, at least one draft pick every single major league draft. A pretty amazing record.
That is.
Going back to 1965.
That is amazing. And now that they've shortened the draft too, it was up to 50 rounds and it went to 40. Now I think it's down to 20.
That's a 1-2, big lead and a foul ball. Wells basically had a walking start down there over at first. Yeah, that draft pick last year for Olmstead, 349th in program history. Think about the draft. It's now, this next year will be its 60th year of the draft.
A lot of young men, lives, their work is oftentimes fulfilled in that moment when they hear their name called.
Yeah, about 6 draft picks a year on average if you add it all up. Another throw over to first.
Well, now that's really like 6 a year.
You're talking about 58 drafts so far. I have a calculator on my phone, Ty. I'm not pretending to be some whiz. I literally just punch.
You don't want to have some ties, Matthew. I promise you, because I'll start throwing numbers out there, and I'm always going to give it the bigger number. I can promise you.
1-2 again to Carpentier. Stays alive.
We've had a bunch of foul balls today in this game so far.
You wonder how long Harrelter will be stretched out for. He's well over 40 pitches now, his first outing of the year. Another throw over to first.
Well, they've got somebody throwing, and it's a good point. Yeah, I mean, he's probably not built up beyond, if he gets out of this, built up beyond this inning.
Nice pitch. Curveball sweeps across the zone. Carpentier can't make contact.
Good breaker. And out there with that hard curveball. They'd thrown a lot of heaters in. Trapped that barrel in a little bit. What would that breaker away? It's a good looking breaker.
There's Kaikia Harrison. Had that hot shot. It snapped the streak. Harrison was perfect yesterday. 4 for 4 with a double, 3 singles, a run scored. Easily could be 5 for his last 5. That was a bullet. That was the one that knocked out Zach Morris. A line drive that hit right off the side of his face. Here, runner goes. Hit and run on, and the throw is just late. Wells able to sneak his hand into the bag.
Yeah, that's the right call. From what I could see, too, it was a hit and run. pitch was out, wasn't able to make contact. Definitely was a hit and run wide. That's why he was a little bit late getting there jump wise. He just missed him. I mean, when they're going to replay it, I don't think he got him.
I didn't think so either.
No, but he, he did. He tagged him up on the shoulder. Now the ball beat him there, but we'll find out if maybe they did. Maybe he touched him before the fingers got to the bag, but it appeared that he tagged him up on the shoulder.
I imagine this will stand with Harrison just kind of flailing at that pitch, trying to make any sort of contact.
Back in the day, before you had replay, you just swipe tag. If the ball beat him there, you were just taught swipe it. And
as
get in and out. Umpires, they weren't, they normally 90% of the time they were going to call him out. But now with the technology, it's almost like when you're swinging a bat at a baseball, you've got to keep eye contact with it. And you got to go down tag. You got to look at his hand and try to get it, and just like you're trying to hit a baseball.
One more look. They will uphold the call here. That's the word we're getting. Almost looked like the way Robinson was sort of leaning toward the base. He was covering there on the run, that his momentum just prevented him from putting that glove right down on the fingers, because that obviously is what you would want to do, but based on the way the body was moving, unable to do that. And it's a stolen base. It was now a perfect 4-for-4 Carson Wells in steals this year. Now Harrison, wave and a miss. So all 5 times he's been up between last night and tonight, he has scalded the baseball.
Kind of like what we were talking about earlier. Just give me my chance. Give me my moment. Give me my chance. He's earned the right to get back out there again today and probably moving forward.
Check swing, stays alive. 0-2 to Harrison. Up over 50 pitches now. Storm Herholtzer trying to get through this frame for his head coach, Kirk Saarloos. Used to be the longtime pitching coach here at TCU for 9 years. Now what pitching coaches like to see, a game like this. 6-4, third inning, a lot of offense. That changeup taken low and outside. Can he hold up? Just barely. On that curve running down and in. Looked like he did do just enough.
He did. He got that barrel moving just a little bit, but he was able to hold on to it, I think. Yeah, he kept it back. He was just trying to help the umpire out with his call. No, I didn't.
We're good. Harrison locked in right now. 4 for his last 5. 2-2 count. They will reset the pitch clock. Back up the middle. This gets the runner over to third as the throw is in time. Good job ranging to his right by Chattier, who covers a lot of ground out there on the infield position.
Good backhand play. Kind of has crossover step, move to his right. Backhand, come up and throw. He does a good job.
My Wells stealing second, avoids what could have been a double play there. Wells now over to third for Deuce Robinson, trying to follow up what he did last inning. Late on that swing and a miss. What did Coach Stankiewicz tell us? As raw as can be, but
as can be.
You cannot deny the talent there for Deuce Robinson. He took part in the area code games a couple years ago. Big showcase for high school talent. It's a fastball on the outside edge. Sure, after today, Andy Stankiewicz I call up his pal Lincoln Riley, say, hey, you know, take a look at what this kid just did for us over the weekend. You sure we can't keep him for a little more?
Yeah, you know, how about let's talk about Deuce.
Back up the middle. This will be a really tough play. He can fly, but a nice play on the run by Robinson. TCU gets out of it as Robinson's thrown out by a half step. Robinson takes care of Robinson, and we go to the fourth. 6-4 lead for TCU.
Watch me roll, grind, and spin. Playgrounds for wheels, that's always a win. One with my chair, but never held back. I do things sitting down, most people standing can't hack. Some might say my condition was fate. My doctors would tell you I'm just redefining great. Watch me. Life-changing orthopedic excellence at Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
The American Western Weekend. 2 nights of Western sports and live entertainment. Deep in the heart of Texas. March 8th and 9th, Globe Life Field. Friday night, the American Performance Horsemen with a concert by Luke Bryan. Saturday night, the American Rodeo with a concert by Post Malone. The American Western Weekend, March 8th and 9th. Tickets on sale at AmericanRodeo.com.
We go to the fourth inning. TCU head coach Kirk Saarloos joining us right now. Coach, first off with that scary shot to the face at Morris. So great to see him back in the dugout. Anything else you can fill us in on with his status in general?
No, we're just being extra careful with him, with anybody that, you know, gets hit in the neck or head area. Obviously, he got hit right on the temple. So, you know, he's gonna we'll get it all figured out, and he'll get a CT scan, make sure there's nothing structurally wrong. But you know, those are always scary, and glad to see that he's back in the dugout, but definitely scary.
Coach, you guys coming in, your offense has been good as build. Again, this weekend, you guys continue to come up with big hits between both teams, but particularly you guys just keep wearing out the middle part of the field today.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, most good hitters obviously stay lined up to the gaps, and we've done a good job of doing that. What we need to do is put up some zeros as a pitching staff. You know, we can't continue to put the pressure on our offense to continue to deliver time in and time out. That's a tough thing to ask them to do, but you know, we've asked them to do it and they've delivered it. But now it's, you know, we pitched, you know, we played Tuesday, we played extra inning game on Wednesday, we played an extra inning game on Friday, and then yesterday and today. So it's a 5-game week, and when your starter on Sunday gets knocked out in the first, puts a little extra stress. So we're going to see a bunch of guys that haven't got a ton of opportunities out of the bullpen. One is Storm, and you'll see some more guys, but you know, we got to continue to add on and be a little bit better on the mound.
With Logan Maxwell here at the plate, and with Stormy, he hadn't pitched in a couple of years. You know, first time back. What do you make of his return? A guy who could certainly be useful for you with the type of action he's got.
Yeah, he's got good stuff. The big thing is the consistency and the strike zone and being able to execute pitches. And yeah, he's got the stuff. So now it's just a matter of opportunity for him to get back out there, get his feet wet again. He pitched in 21, pitched in 22s, and dealing with some injuries. Didn't pitch at all last year. So there's some perseverance with him. So, you know, it's nice to get him out there for the first time in action in a little bit. And hopefully we can see him settle in a little bit and get us a little bit deeper into this ball game.
Sure thing. Coach, appreciate the time as always.
You bet. Go Frogs.
And a leadoff base hit for Logan Maxwell. That was a sharp two-hopper. Tough play for Covarrubias to make as that skipped up on him.
You got to make a choice. You can stay back on that next top. He saw it coming. And either take a drop step, stay back, and you got to plant and throw at the same time, or you make the choice, come get it, and try to get the short hop. Instead, he got the in-between, went over his glove.
Sets up Carson Bowen. 0-1. I'm sure Andy Stankiewicz would also like to echo what Coach Sarlo said, on the pitching side of it, I mean, it's just been high stress inning after high stress inning for both of these staffs.
It has. I mean, it really has. A lot of pitches, a lot of balls in play. There hasn't been a ton of swing and miss from both teams. A ton of foul balls. I mean, so that tells you a little bit. There's not always swing miss stuff involved. They'd all love to be hunting some zeros right now.
Even last inning where they had to work around some danger for each staff. First clean inning for each team. 6-4 right now as we play in the fourth, and a swing and a miss. Gets that one past Bowen, 1-2. It's been a nice bounce back though from Michael Ebner, who was shaky in his outing Friday night against TCU. Going an inning and a third so far. He got the ground ball he was looking for to start the inning by Maxwell. Just a tough hop it takes on Covarrubias.
You see the pitching things on their arms. They look down and get their signs of what they're going to throw. I wonder initially if that bothers those pitchers.
A bullet handled by Covarrubias. 105 miles an hour off the bat. Perfect positioning there for the USC shortstop.
He couldn't get out of the way. That ball was hit so hard. He almost got like, I'm a catcher that's going to catch this thing. That ball was missile to him.
So you want to play shortstop.
Yeah. We're just talking about hitting balls back through the middle. That just continue to pelt that ball in the middle of the field. And again, you heard Coach Sarlo say it. I mean, that means you're lined up, gap to gap. You're staying in the middle of the field. And both teams have been able to do it today.
Peyton Tolley with a drive to center. Over and on his horse. Going back. Just has enough room to make the catch. Tolley hit that one 404 feet. Out toward that 407 wall in dead center.
Well, you see now the power part of his swing as to why he's hitting when he's pitching and then hitting on the third day of a weekend. I mean, he got a lot of this baseball. I mean, you can see this look on his face like, what do I got to do to get one out of here? Teammates are going to give him a couple, go to the weight rooms and a couple of those, and I guarantee you, somebody said it when he got in the dugout. He landed all over that ball.
He's gone yard once this year for TCU. That's a homer in a lot of parks. Not when you play here at a big league stadium, Globe Life Field. Luke Boyers now digs in. What I thought was interesting about Coach Sarlos' answer on Storm Herholzer, kind of seems like they might keep him in there a little bit, get him some more outs. So they could certainly feel like with the work he's done on the side and in preparation to build up in his return from injury that they can let him loose a little bit here.
They may also not have a choice. I mean, you heard him say it. 3 extra inning games this week, or 2 extra inning games, and in a 5-game week. That's a lot. The 5-game week's a lot as it is.
They went 12 innings against Wazoo in midweek. Go 11 innings against USC. So you're already talking about 5 games. That's basically 5.5.
Yeah,
that's 5 extra innings right there.
And then and unfortunately your starter on Sunday gets injured.
Swing and a miss. Boyers down 0-2. Part of what in general has just been a TCU team that has won tons of close games. Back up the middle. Takeuchi can't get there as Maxwell hustles first to third. Once again, back up the middle for TCU, who have now put up 11 hits on the day.
They just need to move their infielders right there in the middle. Leave them there.
Have them stationary.
Yeah, just stay there.
Boyer's second hit today.
You got to take the third baseman and put him in the middle as a rover.
And it's Ryder Robinson, who has doubled and been hit by a pitch in this game, comes up with runners on the corners. And those numbers updated after last night for TCU. 8 of the team's 11 wins have been by 3 runs or less. Robinson chops a foul. 5 of those 11 by a single run. Makes sense when you're facing so many good Power 5 teams. This is the 8th game already against the Pac-12 for TCU. Robinson to the left side. That's right at Covarrubias, who bobbles and can't make the play. Just when you get a tailor-made ground ball to end the inning, disaster strikes, and the Horned Frogs have a 7th run on the board.
Yeah, ball's hit hard. He got an in-between hop, and he peeked up. He peeked right as the ball got near him to go field it. Just not able to come up with it.
It's a shame. He's been so good in the field all weekend, too. It's a double whammy when it's a team like TCU that can just mash, and you finally get a pitch to get out of the inning. And Micah Kendrick gets another AB. Takes a ball down low. Walked and struck out in that second inning, where TCU scored 5 runs, sent 11 to the plate. Ooh, watch out. It's off the front of the dugout over there. Keeps the inning alive. 7-4 now, TCU in the 4th inning. Called strike. To the right side. This time it's handled cleanly with a flip by Takeuchi. And USC gets out of the inning, but one more run does score on a 2-out error by Covarrubias. 7-4 lead for TCU to the bottom of the 4th.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Def Leppard, Journey, the Steve Miller Band. Together. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits. August 12th, Globe Life Field. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
7-4 game, TCU on top of USC. We mentioned earlier how USC has had at least 1 draft pick every single MLB draft going back to 1965. This is part of the reason why, when you think about how successful the Trojans have been. Most College World Series title in D1 history, 12 of them. And they've made it to Omaha over 20 times, but only once in the last 20 years to the NCAA tournament, just in general. And that's why they brought in Andy Stankiewicz, longtime head coach at Grand Canyon, to help turn that around. We've been impressed, both USC and ASU, even though the Sun Devils leave 0-3, Trojans 0-2 and behind here. The pieces are in place. Some of those weaknesses, though, were just exposed by legit top 7 teams in the country this weekend.
Yeah, I agree with that. If you go back and you think for a second, 21 times to Omaha's a lot, first of all, right? There's a handful of others that have more. But over half the time, though, when they do go to Omaha, they win a national title.
It's not like it's just you go to Omaha and it's a World Series against 1 team. I mean,
no.
Double elimination,
Sure. 8
teams, not easy. As Overn leans off with a foul back.
Look, I've been 3 times as a player and once as a young coach. played in 3 national title games, lost all of them, and then coached in a national title game and lost. And the only people that remember who finished second are the ones who finished second. But it is hard to get there, and even harder to be the last man standing.
1-1 count here to Overn. He gets plunked. Herholtz are still working through some of the command issues. Coach Sarlos was talking to us about it when we talked to him last half inning, and that might be all. Herholtz are now up to 58 pitches.
I think they really wanted to give him a couple, 1 or 2 more hitters to give him some confidence, and probably not ready for that amount of pitches yet. But I tell you what, the good news, there were moments in there where he was really good. That fastball was good, and that breaker was good at times as well.
New pitcher for TCU. We'll tell you about him next. Here's a look at Storm Herholtzer out after his first appearance in a couple years for TCU. He exits. And another guy in his first outing of the year, it's a TCU debut for the Tennessee Tech transfer, Colt Taylor, grad transfer who comes in. He was a starter for a year at Tennessee Tech, was a reliever his first year after starting his career at the JUCO level. What did Kirk Sarlos tell us, Ty? A lot of guys who haven't thrown a lot of innings for his club will get some opportunities today, and you can see on the warm-up pictures the funky delivery that Colt Taylor will bring.
A little different look. I mean, I think a lot of college staffs have a right-handed guy that kind of drops down, creates a little bit different angle. Really hard on right-handed hitters. Left-handed hitters, it's kind of to their open side, but you're going to see that fastball run left to right, a little bit of sink to it. Change up, you'll see a little breaker that comes off of it as well. But it's different. You use the word funky, and that's right. It's kind of a different action. Ball acts different. When the sidearm guys are really good, it's a lot of ground balls. It's efficient. Most of the guys are strike throwers. So TCU is going to get their first peek at him as well in a real live game.
Has to be a special moment for Colt Taylor when you transfer, want to make an instant impression for a new school. And we're in weekend 3. Some of these guys have been waiting an awfully long time to finally get out there and prove what they can do. In a way, this is sort of like opening weekend for someone like Colt Taylor. He faces the top of the USC order. We're in the bottom of the 4th, 7-4, slow moving game. Whole lot of base runners, a lot of offense early. This is the 5th pitcher combined of the day, and Taylor will look to get some outs for TCU. They're in desperate need of some guys to rack up the outs. Pumps in a first pitch strike there to Covarrubias.
77's not a normal college number. I wonder if there's a backstory to him wearing Covarrubias wearing 77. It's just balls thrown away.
On the pickoff attempt, this allows Overn to go to second. Thought about going 3, but there's nobody out, and a 3-run game. That's what Overn can do, a guy with such great speed.
Just got turned a little too quick, pulled that throw over.
Just the threat of the stolen base, even though Overn's 0 for 2 on steal attempts this year. Forces the errant throw. That is a good question on Covarrubias. At the old spring training number as he sends it up the middle. Ryder Robinson's made a couple nice plays like that on the charge. And he retires his counterpart at shortstop.
I'm not sure that would have been a double play because it wasn't hit hard enough, but you probably would still have a runner either first or probably second had he not thrown the ball away, but does a good job of coming back. I don't know. It'd have been close to double play. I'm going to tell you what. I mean, that's what he's in there to do, is throw ground balls. It's not necessarily you got to go out there and strike people out, create contact early in counts, let your defense go to work.
TCU happy to concede the run. Galloway 2 for 2, base hit in the first, drove in 2 with a single in the second. He's hacking already, fouls it back. Galloway second on the team now in the early season, an average at 359. Guy who hit 365 in 19 starts, was not even supposed to be on the field last year, was the backup catcher. Connor Aoki, older brother of Friday night starter Caden Aoki, who we saw to begin this weekend with this pitch fouled off. It was Connor the starter, but he went down with injury, and Galloway came in and was really good as a freshman coming behind the dish as a first-year player to come in, have that impact at a position like catcher, and also hit. Behind in the count 0-2 here, trying to get that runner in from third. And fouls another one off.
Brought up earlier that both these programs, USC and Arizona State go without winless. USC still in the battle of one, headed in the right directions. But that West Coast, I don't have a stat in front of me to tell me how many guys were drafted this past year, high school wise, and then how many are playing Division I baseball from the West Coast.
Smack to the left side, another base hit for Jacob Galloway. He can't be stopped. That's 3 singles and 3 trips and 3 driven in as USC's back within 2.
Yeah, he gets an elevated fastball, and again, one of those sidearm guys, it's a little bit tougher with them on left-handed hitters because it's going to their open side, but it's even easier for him when you elevate for him like that. That ball was just served up to him, elevated, where he all he do is stay on it long enough to drive it exactly where he needed to, right over the shortstop's head in between the left fielder.
Galloway with his team leading 9th RBI this year, 15th hit. Nobody else has more than 8 on the roster for USC. You're talking about a guy with almost twice as many hits as the second place guy on the roster. As Takeuchi swings over the top of a breaking ball. We got him in a valuable part of the order, Galloway, in that 2-hole. DHing today, not catching. Big swing and a miss by Takeuchi, and it's 0-2.
It's really our first look at his breaker, and it's been mainly fastballs, but went back to Mutt with breaker to lead him off with. Just big enough to run away from him. Like he's going to try to go in there and trap that barrel a little bit.
Gets him on 3 pitches. Takeuchi down on strikes as Taylor has his first K in a Horned Frog uniform.
Yeah, breaker away. Let's say it comes in with that 2-seamer. Watch it keep running in on him. Starts in the strike zone and just keeps powering in on him for a strikeout.
First punch out for Cole Taylor gives the Horned Frogs 2 outs in the inning for Luca DiPaolo. Has good athleticism, the ability to play in the outfield too if USC wants to. Getting the spot start today at catcher.
I'll try to finish what I was trying to say a minute ago about the direction of both those programs. Their recruiting pool is so large on the West Coast, and we're seeing it here in Texas too, with a lot of them on the teams here in the great state of Texas. It's just so many baseball players behind him.
That one got away. Slider that did not slide. In fact, the opposite is slide.
Yeah, I'm probably glad it didn't, because I think it would have hit him if it would have slid.
Galloway down to second. It's almost a blessing and a curse when you're in a spot like that, because yes, there are so many amazingly talented players, but you also are having to compete with all the powerhouse and history-rich programs in your region, plus all the other teams around the country who want those guys. Back up the middle by DePaulo. It's falling fast. Myers runs it down. The speed of Sam Myers on display, but USC does get a run back. Each team score once in the fourth, a 2-run game.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose: to get the job done right.
The United Football League has arrived, and Arlington, your Renegades are back.
That's what I'm talking about.
Cheer on the Renegades and kick off the first ever UFL season at Choctaw Stadium.
This was a dime.
Bring the whole family and be a part of football history.
A little razzle-dazzle.
Head to the UFL.com and buy your Renegades tickets today.
Done, get it right in the fields, let it out. Get it done, get it right in the fields, let it out. Get it done, get it right in the fields, let it out.
Let's get it.
TCU is headed back to done, get it right in the fields, let it out. Get it done, get it right in the fields, let it out. Let's get it.
A whole lot of offense today for TCU. Started right away in the first inning. Curtis Byrne driving in the first run of the game to pace the Horned Frogs, and that was just the start. A 5-run second inning. Sam Myers driving 2 with that base hit up the middle. And the common theme, Ty, is it's really all been back up the box.
It has. I mean, both teams, and certainly TCU way more than SC, but they, again, that's where you want to put gap to gap, where you're trying to focus, and they've been able to execute it. 2-strike hitting, been able to hit balls the other way. They were impressive coming in, and they've been everything they said they were, or the stats show that they were going to be, and maybe a little bit more.
Part of that 5-run frame, you saw the Logan Maxwell sac fly to right. Carson Bowen a base hit. There, Luke Boyers delivering the final RBI knock of the 5th inning to make it, at the time, a 6-2 game. Each team has tacked on since then. And it's the top of the order. Peyton Chatinier as we begin the 5th of a 7-5 game. Michael Ebner doing his best to quell the tide of all the runs scored. 2 1/3 in relief so far for Ebner, allowing just a single unearned run with a wave and a miss over the top of a changeup.
It's been better the second time. I think that goes without saying.
Chatinier to left center. Over and back. Chasing. Makes the catch right in front of the wall. Chatinier didn't miss that one by much.
Did Overton kind of fool you a little bit when he ran and kind of hesitated? Then he took off running again. He didn't misjudge it. I mean, he's too good an outfielder for it, but he took off running. Look at, you see, he's going shaking his hands like, I don't know if I kind of like. He
had it the whole way.
Kind of hesitated, then threw the burners on again.
I feel like until you've stood in the outfield in the big league park, this shot to the left side, that's down for Sam Myers, who just continues to hit. He takes a hard turnaround first, digs for 2, and is in there. 3rd hit in 4 trips for Myers, who has a double.
That little guy's a baseball player, isn't he? I could watch guys like this play all day, every day, inside that baseball, like he's taught, kind of fall in on him, slides the knob inside of it just enough, strong enough to get it out there, and fast enough to get to second base.
4th double of the year. Guy who's 13 for his first 30 at the college level. Sam Myers sets up Curtis Byrne. I was just going to say, as far as the outfield positioning, really hard to know how actually difficult that is until you've stood out there in the field trying to track a fly ball like that into the gap. Burn to the left side. Covarrubias collects, makes the throw. That was slow enough to allow Myers to move over to third with 2 outs.
Yeah, slow enough. Also, third baseman was deep. He couldn't get into position to get to the bag. Covarrubias made the right choice. He peeked at him, but he made the right choice. Just, I'm going to take the routine out here, go throw this first base and get us an out.
Yeah, it's Logan Maxwell singled and scored on that error in the last inning for TCU. A combined 17 hits as that's taken for a called strike. We're only in the 5th inning. Ebner looking to strand Myers over at third. He said Tice has been clearly the better of the outings. It was just a third of an inning. Ebner struggled on Friday night against TCU as this changeup's down in the dirt. He gave up 3 earned runs to allow TCU to tie, and then when he left the game, his last runner he was responsible for scored, so they took the lead. Here's a one-hopper to the right side. Carpentier with the handle, and a quick inning despite the 1-out double by Myers. Halfway home from Globe Life Field in our final game of the weekend. 2-run lead for TCU. Hanging out at the ballpark on a Sunday. A lot of TCU fans making the very short trip over from Fort Worth as they welcome in their 4th pitcher of the day. Mason Bixby enters the fray into the bottom of the 5th. Colt Taylor, solid inning of work in his TCU debut, and now it's Bixby, talented freshman from San Antonio. And another guy who's not gotten any work so far this year, but in the fall, he was touching 94. And Kirk Sarlo says he's got the sort of arm and the build he could eventually touch 99, 100 out of the pen.
Well, when you draw him up, this is what a big league pitcher looks like. I mean, this is what when a scout walks into a room, says, what am I looking for from a pitcher, body-wise, physique-wise? I mean, this is tall, long levers, guys with long stride that get out there, you know, all of a sudden they let go of the ball a lot closer to you as a hitter. Good arm. You see that kind of arm speed out of a tall guy like that. Charles, obviously, he knows what he's talking about. He wouldn't make it up. It's one of these days, it's probably going to be just that, a 96, 97. And that used, and look, 93 used to be a big deal, by the way. I mean, if you do over 90 and you were 90 to 93, you had a great arm. I mean, my last couple, 3-4 years of coaching, I'd get a scouting report. They'd say 92 to 93. Almost every arm we would face. And on Friday nights, we were facing guys 93 to 96. Back end guys, same way. Sliders at 82 to 84 miles an hour, which used to be some of the fastball velo. I mean, it just, everybody trains for velo now, and we're certainly seeing it.
Big question for Bixby is the health. He missed his entire senior year with injury. Coming out of Johnson High School from San Antonio, Texas. So a long road back for Bixby. Has not pitched since his junior year of high school. This is his debut at the college level. faces Wells to lead off the 5th, fouls it off. That's part of what Kirk Saarloos was telling us, though. So many arms used. 5th game of the week for TCU. 2 of those have gone extras, and you really have no choice. You're forced to throw some of these guys into the fire, see what they're made of.
He's coming out of one of the best high school programs in the state of Texas.
Foul off as it goes to 0-2.
Go to Johnson High School. They're putting out college athlete and pro athletes every year.
Unanimous first team all district player. 7-2, 154 ERA. His last year of high school as he misses upstairs. He's touching 97 on that fastball. So even since the fall when he was finally healthy in Fort Worth, he's added a couple more miles an hour to that fastball. There's our gun. Just misses there, back to 97.
All the hitters in SC dugout recognize that too, and all of a sudden they'll start trying to get their rhythm a little bit quicker, particularly on deck. Watching it, trying to get on time.
Upstairs, full count. Carson Wells led off the 3rd inning with a walk, had a stolen base, also had an RBI ground out in the 1st. A very productive day for Wells, and that's not even to mention the 2 sliding catches he's made in the field. Lay down that fastball at 96, but fouls it off. And part of what you're talking about now, Ty, with the way you have to adapt as a hitter, these guys are all pretty much used to the mid-90s stuff, and if that's all you've got, as great as it is, they will be able to adjust, and you'll have to show something else than just a straight fastball like that.
Well, the hitters have to train for it now too. I mean, get those hack attacks and machines and work off of those.
Oh, that's a really good pitch. Went a little extra, 98 on the gun as he catches the bottom of the zone for out number 1.
That's a 6.667 frame throwing it straight downhill. When you hear the word baseball guys talk about it's got great angle, great tilt, that means it's coming from a high angle and driving it straight downhill. It's so hard to get to the middle or even the bottom of those kind of baseballs with that kind of velo and that kind of angle.
How about that for your first career appearance on the mound? 98 at the knees for your first ever out. Dean Carpentier fouls it off.
Pretty good chance Wells was saying the same thing. How about that?
Sure.
First time I got to face a guy's first time, and it's 98 at the kneecaps.
Freshman matchup as that one just misses 1-1. Not the first freshman though to make his debut at Globe Life Field in college baseball. We've seen some guys over the years show up here, didn't really know what you were getting, and they looked the part. Fastball on the inside edge, called strike 2. You know, the guy I remember from a couple years ago who has now developed into a big-time arm in the Big 12 for Kansas State, Tyson Neighbors.
Yeah.
Made his debut here.
Yeah.
And we had no idea. There was some hype about Neighbors, but he came in was just throwing straight gas. Chopper to the left side, deep in the hole. Robinson, a nice throw for out number 2.
Yeah, good play, good throw, good release. Yeah, on Neighbors, the first time I saw him throw, you talking about a fast arm. I mean, in a quick hand. I mean, obviously it's not as much leverage as it is, you know, right here for Bixby, but you were right on. I mean, it's a quick arm.
And Neighbors now viewed as one of the premier pitchers in the Big 12.
Yeah.
Potential pitcher of the year candidate. As Kaikia Harrison comes up. 2 out, nobody on for the sophomore from Hawaii. That'll hurt. Chopped it foul off inside of the leg. With that 98-mile-an-hour fastball coming in.
Hadn't seen anything else. It's been all heaters.
So far, it hasn't mattered.
No, I would too. Look, if I throw 98 with that kind of angle, I'd sit there and put the old #1 down too.
Harrison the other way. That's what he knows how to do. Taking balls to the opposite field. 4 for 4 yesterday. Hit a couple balls hard, but resulting in groundouts, and has his first base hit of the day.
Fastball away, got on time with it. Got his front foot down just in time. Elevated enough for him to get right in the middle of it. That's a good swing. He just got a great balanced swing. I mean, there's not a whole lot of movement. In control of his lower half, which just allows you to control the knob of that bat. It's a good swing.
Now Deuce Robinson, swing and a miss. First career hit in a USC baseball uniform against Mason Bixby. Just got his first career K in a Horned Frog uniform. Fun matchup between a couple of big freshmen. 6'6" for Deuce Robinson, 6'7" for Bixby on the mound. Big hack. I'm sure Deuce has been introduced rudely to a couple linebackers over the middle in Pac-12 play, but this is kind of that equivalent right now, what you're walking into at the Power 5 level of college baseball. 0-2 to him. Got him. 98 up and out of the zone, and Mason Bixby just blows away Robinson as the 5th inning comes to an end. Pretty impressive stuff for the San Antonio native. And TCU remains up by 2.
Watch me. Watch me jump, dive, and splash. Put me by a pool, I'll be soaked in a flash. A girl in the water to swim like a fish. Just 2 simple legs. That was my wish. I'm a sea turtle, shark, a seal on a slide. This is my day of fun, with nothing to hide. Watch me. Pioneers in orthotic and prosthetic technology at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Kane Brown in the Air Tour. Saturday, September 14th, Globe Life Field. Special guests, Cole Swindell, Locash, and Ray Lynn. Crossover superstar Kane Brown Live. So thank God I get to on sale now at KaneBrownMusic.com. Presented by AEG Presents.
There's Tom Vandergrift, the father of baseball in Arlington. So many cool statues that they've done a great job with outside Globe Life Field when this place opened back in 2020. Glistening in the Sunday afternoon light.
That's good work.
Some of the scenes from earlier in the weekend, the Texas A&M fans made a big impact all weekend. A&M got out of here with a perfect 3-0 record. Horned Frogs trying to do the same thing. They lead 7-5 as we go to the 6th inning, and a new pitcher for USC, Will Watson. The Division III Cal Lutheran transfer. Might not have been highly recruited out of Bo Washington, but he turned a lot of heads with his Division III pedigree, and now comes in first-year player for USC. Good outing as well out of the pen for Michael Ebner. Went 3 1/3. 8 up some valuable innings as Watson now comes in, tries to keep this a 2-run game. It was Cal Lutheran at the D3 level for a year, then went the JUCO route. Now he's here making his D1 debut this season. He's gotten in to a couple games already. 3 appearances for Watson, 1 earned run in an inning and 2/3. He faces Carson Bowen. It's 5, 6, and 7 for TCU. Pitchers have started to work themselves into this game with the bullpen arms after a lot of scoring early. As Bowen slices one foul, 0-2. But you know, with the way these lineups are hitting, Ty, you never can really say for sure we are done scoring. It's just kind of the nature of the beast right now.
A lot of new guys getting opportunities for TCU on the mound. And same for SC. This is how you can grow as a staff and as a team. You almost always discover somebody in these third games early in the year.
Swing and a miss. Nice pitch. 80. A 94 there on the fastball to blow it past Bowen for out number 1.
Well, you're talking about a good-looking 94-mile-an-hour fastball and a quick arm, quick hand, elevates a four-seamer, starts right at that elevated hitting area for a hitter thinks he's going to be able to get to the top of it or get in the middle of it, and it just stays right there. And a good ride to it.
Now Peyton Tolley, his last time up, gave the baseball a ride. Missed a homer by 3 feet. Hit one 404 out to dead center. Tolley little check swing, but holds up. 1-0 to Will Watson. One of those guys, the numbers might not jump off the page yet for Tolley. You figure they will by the end of the year, though, with the sort of presence he has in the box. Fastball just misses. 226 average so far. He struggled a bit on the mound on Friday night, and you always have to consider, too, just the sort of pressure a guy who's labeled as one of the top transfers in the country has to deal with. And then you multiply it by 2 because Tolley's a two-way guy for TCU. Maybe feeling a little bit of that early as he waves and misses.
Well, don't think for 1 second when you have two-way guys that one doesn't affect the other. I mean, that's human nature. I mean, that's just the way our brains operate sometimes. Now, they get better at trying to separate the two, but it's hard to completely separate them. And as much as you like having 2 players in one can affect both, per se, you know, throughout a day or a week or even a slump on either direction. But I tell you what, as a coach, those guys are so valuable. When you get 2 for 1 on your scholarship in an 11.7 world, goes a long ways.
That's why there's so few of the two-way players we see in 2024. 2-2 coming to Tolley. Oh, he got him. Ooh, didn't mean to. That'll hurt. 94 coming inside on a fastball. And it's a hit by pitch. Second time Tolley's gotten plunked.
That one's going to leave a mark. It got him square. It looked like on the side of the shin calf area, and you can see him kind of trying not to put any pressure on it.
Now Watson will try to regroup as he faces Luke Boyers, who's had a nice day today. First start of the weekend. Even for a guy who's 6'6" with a whole lot of muscle, 250 is what Tolley's listed at.
Yeah, they may pinch run for him.
They're letting him walk it off right now.
Yeah, they're going to go run for him. I mean, that guy's got to swing around in 5 days and go pitch, and he's got to get his work in between. Tomorrow he'll go long toss. Next day, on Tuesday, he'll go bullpen. So they're going to probably get him in that dugout and go to work on him.
Jack Arthur will come in as a pinch runner. That makes a lot of sense in this instance. Also the second time he's been plunked today. And he's taking the beating out there as Arthur will come over to first. As we play in the top of the 6th. You said yesterday you're not a betting man, but you should have just bet that this would be a 3-runner less game because that's all TCU plays basically. That's what we're looking at right now. 2-run game to the top of the 6th. 8 of their 11 wins by 3 or less so far. TCU 11-0 on the season, best since '85 to start a year. Will Watson last pitched last weekend in the Portland series for USC. First time he gave up an earned run in that outing. And misses 1-0. chopper foul.
Tough guy to double up, too, as he can really run. From that left side, gets him a little step closer to first base. But guys that can run like this, it's got to be one of those, seems like it's got to be one of those hard hit ground balls or one hoppers somewhere in the middle of the infield.
Boyers just in general has put some good swings on the ball all day today. 2 for 3, couple singles. As you get a good look at Will Watson. He had a choice to make last year. He was signed, was drafted, I should say, had a chance to sign. Was a late draft pick, though, round 22 by Seattle. Swing and a miss. Good looking changeup. You're starting to see fewer and fewer MLB teams draft guys because the way the draft has been reduced. Guys, if they're not sure whether they're going to go college versus actually signing pro, you see less of that now. And the guys who do get drafted, who decide to go to college, it's usually like that late round, where the signing bonuses will be at its smallest, and it's still kind of a 50-50 proposition.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see how NIL plays in that space now with guys that are mid-round draft picks.
Back to the changeup, called strike 3. Boyers caught looking. That's 2 Ks now for Watson. Especially with how criminally underpaid the minor league system has been, and that started to get exposed a little bit more just with the housing and the setups for guys in the low levels of minor leagues. It's a pretty stark dynamic. You compare that to now NIL and how that's impacting the college game.
Well, I mean, for pro baseball, it's not I think they put a lot of trust in college baseball now to develop players. So, they cut the draft down. It's 25 rounds, and now with NIL coming into play a little bit, a guy can go to college and not just be on a 30% scholarship in baseball. I mean, some of these guys are going to have opportunities NIL-wise, and so it's going to be interesting to see over the next 2 years as college baseball continues to thrive and get better and stronger and popular, and how if it does have an effect, it may not. I mean, But if I'm, if once in a while, if I'm a pro team, I look at these college teams and getting to play in a pro park like this, they get to evaluate these guys anyway.
And on the move, throw down to second. They got him. Arthur, the pinch runner, is nabbed. A really nice tag put down on a great throw by DePaulo. He's gotten a couple of TCU attempted base stealers. Covarrubias puts the tag on him in plenty of time as we go to the bottom of the 6th from Arlington.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
3 bands. 1 stadium. Def Leppard, Journey, the Steve Miller Band. Together. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits. August 12th, Globe Life Field. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. Saturday, June 15th, Globe Life Field, with special guests Tedeschi Trucks Band and Marcus King. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. New album, Higher, available now.
Some of the banners for the Texas Rangers at Globe Life Field, they're about to add one very big banner after winning the World Series last year. You know what I noticed, Ty, is they have room for 20 banners out there. 10 have been filled up so far, so the expectation.
I like it.
Yeah, they got room for more slots in there.
They've got plans.
Rangers have been an outstanding host for us. You go back to 2021 when this event first came here. There's a look at the banners out there. They're all filled up out to the left.
Look at that space to the right, though. There's soon to be, you know what the decibel noise is going to be like when they hoist that thing up there? About the same when Seager hit that homer, if not more.
One of the great moments in Ranger histories. We're back underway. Bottom of the 6th. Over and takes a called strike, and I was curious to see if Mason Bixby would get a little longer leash. It's his first outing. Fastball at 95 now. He was touching 98 in his first career inning of work, but the Horned Frogs also need a lot of outs here. So Kirk Saarloos, I wonder if this is similar to the Herholzer inning where they let him just go, see how he does in his next inning of extended work, and if all goes well, just let him keep throwing. Foul back in the 1-2 count.
If they got this one, maybe they would let him go get another one. I think if they got him through this one, they would feel like it was a great start for him, right? And a great moment. But since they've been trying to piece this together, we talked about how many extra inning games in a 5-game week. They need him to get through this one for sure if he can.
First non-four-seam fastball we've seen. That was a little cutter, upper 80s. And welcome to college pitching arsenals in the year 2024. 98 four-seam fastball, 87 on a cutter. Ultra talented was how Kirk Saarloos described him back in fall ball, with health being the key component for Mason Bixby going forward. Grounded to the right side, where Chatnier has gobbled up so many of those ground balls today. Over and read the fastball well, but puts it right at Chatnier for out number 1.
Tough to barrel him up when that kind of velo and coming straight downhill. It's like looking up into the sky and watching a fastball come down at the top, down at you.
First out of the 6th, back to the top of the order. Covarrubias has singled, scored around a couple ground outs. That one runs outside 1-0. And TCU has had pretty much constant action down there in the pen. Goes back to the first inning, really scary moment when Zach Morris was hit on the side of the head with a line drive by Kaikia Harrison. And he would exit after 1 inning. Fouled off here by Covarrubias. Herholzer went 2, Taylor 1, Bixby now 1 in the 3rd. I'm sure this is where, as a coach, you start doing some of the math in your head. You're like, all right, 11 more outs. How many guys do I trust down there? It's a 2-run game. Upstairs, 2-1. Now there's Morris. As he starts to turn, you can see just how inflamed that left side of his head is. He got hit right on the temple. He's massaging it over there right now. Fouled off, 2-2. The coach told us on the in-game interview they were going to get tests. Wait to determine anything more until they got that back, but at least good news that he could rejoin the team in the dugout. Swing and a miss, goes inside and jams Covarrubias. 96 on the fastball.
Ouch. Well, this is an inside riding fastball to a right-handed hitter. Boy, it's tough to get to. Not going to let you get extended. That's a big league inside fastball.
Yeah, good luck.
Yeah.
3rd strikeout already for Bixby. Can't ask for much more. A guy coming out, even for someone who can throw 98, but it's his collegiate debut. You have no idea between the shoulders how that's going to hold up. He misses up high on Jacob Galloway. Especially to get to Galloway here with 2 out, nobody on, a guy who has been massive today for USC. 3 for 3, 3 singles, 3 runs driven in. And single-handedly kept USC in the game. Again, upstairs, 2-0.
You got to go after him, though. It's a 2-0 count, nobody on. A lot of what he's done has been singles. He challenged the strike zone right here.
He does challenge him. Fouled off, 2-1. .365 hitter last year for the catcher, .375 already this year. And he works the count to 3-1. And that DH spot today. 2 homers, 9 driven in. On 15 hits, all team highs for the Camarillo, California native. Gets jammed. Fastball in. That one will go foul. Bixby now over 30 pitches as he tries to get through 2 valuable innings and just slow down these USC bats in the middle of the game.
Let's just see if they sit right in the middle right here. Say, here we go. Yep.
Another foul. 98 that time. That's how high he is touched. Anywhere from 95 to 98 for Mason Bixby. Not a surprise when you look at the scouting rankings, and D1 Baseball compiles these. You look at the top impact freshmen in each conference, and Bixby is in that top 25 list.
98 from an 18-year-old or 19-year-old.
Well, he missed on 3-2. Great eye for Galloway. Horned Frog just can't retire this guy. He has been addicted to the base paths today and gets a 2-out walk.
A good hitter. You knew the velo was going to be what it was by the time he got in there. Was able to foul off a couple, stay in the at bat, work a much needed walk. They need base runners.
And Takeuchi with another chance has walked, struck out, grounded into a fielder's choice. That was the play where Robinson had a throwing error into the dugout. And he's ahead 1-0. Kirk Saarloos gives Bixby the opportunity to try to work out of it. He gave up the 2-out single last inning to Harrison, then struck out Robinson. And finds the outside half. Certainly has the look of a guy who could be a future closer for this team. TCU, no stranger to having freshmen show up right away and help the team down the stretch. His fastball up and in.
He looks the part, doesn't he? Tall, 96 to 98. 88, 87 mile an hour cutters. So far has been able to connect on both sides of the plate with a fastball.
That one's fouled off, 2-2. Yeah, those freshman arms for TCU going back to last year. Cole Klecker starts the first game in Omaha for the Horned Frogs. Luis Rodriguez, honorable mention all Big 12. Ben Abel, all freshman team in the Big 12, one of the best freshman closers in the country. Those are the types of guys Kirk Saarloos has been able to develop in year one. Swing and a miss on 2-2. Mason Bixby, maybe the next one in that lineage. He strikes out 4 in 2 innings of work, and it's a 7-5 game going to the 7th. 97 with some rise on that fastball. beautiful late afternoon turning into evening here. Globe Life Field on a Sunday, first weekend in March. 24th and final game over the last 2.5 weeks of college baseball. Just over $1 billion to open this place up. I would say worth every penny, Ty. It's a beautiful facility.
But I don't know that I would ever said something's worth $1.1 billion. This is that All-Star game in 2024.
It'll be awesome to watch. Midsummer Classic coming here. Final game for us and our outstanding crew. Attendance numbers have been great all 3 weekends. TCU, no stranger to playing here. 7-1 at Globe Life last year. They are now 13-3 all-time at Globe Life Field. A 7-5 lead as we go to the 7th. Still anybody's ball game. Both teams going to a bunch of young, inexperienced guys out of the pen after being really taxed throughout the weekend. It's Ryder Robinson starting things off for TCU. Another inning of work out of the pen for Will Watson. Certainly the 2-run lead does not feel safe if you're TCU. And that's before you even consider what USC did to make a late rally on Friday night. First meeting between the two teams. Swing and a miss by Robinson. But a good start, right? You get Colt Taylor, Mason Bixby to throw 3 shutout innings. Guys who had not pitched for you all season. If you're Kirk Saarloos.
Yeah, I mean, look, there haven't been many zeros in this at different times between these two teams.
Sent the other way. Robinson backtracks and makes the catch on Ryder Robinson to start the 7th inning.
Get a good look at him. It kind of went in, went back, settling in. That outfield position you talked about, he hadn't been out there much. It's hard, and he doesn't. Obviously, he's not out there in the fall because he's out catching footballs for Lincoln Riley.
At the pure athleticism you have to just be, to be given that leash to by your head coach. Fastball just inside on Micah Kendrick. To say, yeah, we know you'll probably make some mistakes. Swing might be a little bit long, but we cannot deny the athleticism when we put you out there. Kendrick takes a fastball in there for a strike. Deuce Robinson got his first career hit for the USC baseball program earlier with a double. Got his first career run as well back in the 2nd inning. Made that catch a second ago out and left. Big swing and a miss. It's really interesting to notice the alignment out there, Ty, of Robinson in relation to the rest of the fielders. They have him playing so shallow.
Yeah, it's not that. It depends on how you want to play your defense. A lot of teams on the offside, they play in, particularly if you've got good foot speed to go back over your head if you need to, but they're playing for the ball off the end of the bat.
2-2. Fastball goes upstairs. Will Watson, pretty good life on his fastballs, even though Mason Bixby's been the story on the other side with his fastball velo.
Yeah, I was just about to mention it too, because it's an impressive fastball. Now he doesn't have the giant 6.66 some frame. I mean, but I mean it's a good arm. He's got good.
They're saying pitch violation on Watson. He was asking for a new baseball, tried to go with the old hey, I need a new ball with the pitch clock running down. So it's a 3-2 count here. Foul tip. Kendrick just stays alive. Pretty consistently 94.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's been 94 with good life. I mean, it's not a stale 94. What I mean, but it's not just straight. It's got life. It's got a little action to it.
But he misses on that 3-2 fastball, back to 94. And a good eye for Kendrick, who's drawn a couple walks in his first career appearance for TCU. Back to the top of the order, and Chatinier.
You hit it right. That was a great take. I mean, that's right. I mean, just barely an inch, half inch below the kneecap. Hard for a hitter to take in that position.
The difference that creates, too, for a lineup like TCU. A lot of great options in the top half of that order. So your guy like Kendrick, spot start, draw a walk, and put some danger for Chatinier. One thing, though, it's interesting for TCU now with the way Luca DiPaolo has been so good as a backup catcher. Horned Frogs stole the most bases in the Big 12 last year. They've been gunned down, though, on each of their last 2 attempts to steal, which has kind of thwarted some rallies as Chatinier sends one off the end of the bat. That one's slicing into the seats down the right field line.
Yeah, DiPaolo's got, I mean, his release is good. Arm's good enough. His feet are quick. And he gets that hand up to his ball out of his glove, gets his hand up to his ear position, which is his throwing position for the catcher. And he's been accurate enough, but really his feet and his hands work in transition really well.
Watson's ready now to deliver on Chatinier. Just misses 1-1. It's funny, both bullpens have been in that milling about stage for some time, but with the way both these hard throwing relievers have come in, it's sort of like, okay, until further notice, let them do their thing.
Yeah, it has been. And the coaches play the same way. They've kind of gone, well, do we let him go one more? Do we let him, you know, you see him kind of anxiously trying to find something to do.
Just
to stay focused.
Making conversation with one of the ushers down there, doing whatever they can. Wave and a miss. There's the slider. For these pitchers with live arms and mid-90s fastball, you start adding in good breaking balls like that, and it becomes a next level type of pitcher.
Got to attack it, and he did.
1-2 to Chatinier. That one bounced, took an awkward skip there in the dirt past DiPaolo. So instead of trying to steal a base with a gun of a catcher behind the plate, instead they just take advantage of a wild pitch. And it's Kendrick over to second.
I think DiPaolo, I think he tried to catch us with his glove, and he probably needed to go to his knees and just block it. It's one of those in between. Sometimes for a catcher, they got to read it, whether they can reach out a little bit further and catch it, or at least catch it on the short hop.
The 2-2. Just outside. DiPaolo did his best to frame that one up, and the count runs full.
Might have been a strike or close to being a strike, but I think it was set up in, and it was just away from him.
Swing and a miss. He goes back to the breaking ball. That was so good from Watson. What a sequence between Watson and the vet at the plate, Chatinier.
Oh, you're right. That's a great battle. Didn't get him on the pitch before with a fastball way. Comes back, throws a breaker. It's a strikeout either way.
Third strikeout for Watson, his second inning of relief. Speaking of great battles, Sam Myers, seems like every time he's at the plate, you get a quality AB. 3 for 4, a couple singles, a double, a run scored, 2 driven in. Lays off that change.
You're right, but you know what I thought you were about to say is I thought you were about to say it seems like he comes up every inning.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
We're in inning number 7, AB number 5.
Yeah.
7-5 game. This was 6-4 after 2 innings. Inside on him, and it's 2-0. TCU got an unearned run in the 4th off a 2-out error, what should have been a forced play to end the inning, but USC got it right back in the bottom half of the 4th. Inside, and it's 3-0.
We're going to get a little visit from our third baseman over to the mound. Just to visit with him, calm him down. They're going to put him on. They're not going to mess with trying to throw a 3-0 fastball in there, because he was going to, I'm sure, offensively, DJ Bruce was going to turn him loose on a 3-0 fastball, only up 2 late in the game.
Often do you see that described to a freshman? 13 of 30. Got the green light. It's first weekend in March of his freshman year on 3-0.
Not all of them. The good ones.
I saw TJ Bruce there a second ago to the left of head coach Kirk Saarloos. Curtis Byrne digs in, 2 for 4. And the RBI knock to score Chatinier back in the first that got the scoring started. Big wave and a miss. This outing's gone on for Watson. He's gotten a little more comfortable with that breaking ball. Goes to it again.
Yeah, that's when you have to throw it to. 75% of the time in a college game, runners in scoring position, you're going to see a secondary pitch on the first pitch.
Back to it again. 0-2 to Curtis Byrne. Watson trying to keep USC within striking distance. They had a big rally late in the first game against TCU to take a late lead. Bounces that one in the dirt, a delayed double steal, and the throw goes into center. Big mistake by DePaulo, and the throw gets away again. 2 Horned Frogs can score. On a ball in the dirt, double steal and a disaster for USC in the field.
Yeah, they go from getting an out and getting out of the inning. They go on a ball in dirt. Catcher makes the right decision to go backside. He sees he can't get the guy at third. Watch this right here. Bounces. He sees he's not going to get it there at third. Goes to the backside runner. Had him out. Just air-mailed him, and then after that, we're going to see another errant throw. Third baseman's not able to knock it down. Pitcher wasn't in position to go back it up. 2 runs scored.
That is brutal. 2 errors on the same play. 3 errors now today for USC as Byrne sends it to the right side. A cover by Watson, who makes the play just like that. TCU doesn't even need to put a ball in play to get 2 insurance runs. Once again, Sam Myers at the heart of it. 9-5 TCU.
Watch me. Watch me tumble, jump, and soar. When our squad is on point, we own the floor. Dazzling stunts and dances are my jam. Pain once caused issues, but they had a plan. A life-changing brace with no surgery to fear. Activity without limits, one more reason to cheer. Watch me. Industry-leading scoliosis treatment at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile Sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose: to get the job done right.
The American Western Weekend. 2 nights of Western sports and live entertainment. Deep in the heart of Texas. March 8th and 9th, Globe Life Field. Friday night, the American Performance Horsemen with a concert by Luke Bryan. Saturday night, the American Rodeo with a concert by Post Malone. The American Western Weekend, March 8th and 9th. Tickets on sale at AmericanRodeo.com.
Well, this has been a Herculean effort by our crew for the last 3 weekends, let alone these 3 days here, Ty.
Yep.
We are up to nearly 24 games for the venue. FloSports has had 21 of those games. That is 67 hours and 34 minutes. 473 strikeouts. We had a triple play. We did have a triple play. That was Tennessee.
Yep.
In weekend number 1, a grand slam, which was earlier today by TCU. 20 homers, 3 walk-offs, the longest game in Globe Life Field history. 14 innings last weekend. We've had it all in 67 hours. It's a lot of baseball.
That's a lot of baseball.
You love baseball.
I do. Now, for me, that's wonderful. I mean, I enjoy every piece and every minute of it. But, man, I tell you what, this crew has hustled and made it happen. That's a lot of baseball.
We still have a couple innings to go. That has to sting, though, that last sequence for USC. The last 3 runs they've given up to TCU, all unearned thanks to errors. A game that probably should be 6-5 instead is 9-5 now as we go to the bottom of the 7th. And a pinch hitter to start the inning. Guy we have seen throughout the weekend, Andrew Lamb, was a starting DH last night. He gets a pinch hitter opportunity and fouls it off. And back out there for his 3rd inning of work, Mason Bixby. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Kirk Sarlo says, all right, I'm letting the kid play here. After he took those first 2 innings by storm.
Cannot undervalue the importance of execution of your defense. And
foul off.
And if you watch and listen, coaches, they'll always draw a path of how they got beat, and they'll talk about mistakes historically. And the defense is always such a big part of losing and forgotten often when you're winning.
See that very unique order of operation before. Every pitch as Lamb can't catch up to that one. Still touching 95 even in inning number 3 now out of the pen for Bixby. His 5th strikeout.
He's feeling it right now. And that's, Coach, give me my chance. He's getting it, and they must have him built up pitch-wise. And again, unfortunately, somebody went down injury early in the game, so somebody's got to step up. And so far, they've been able to piece this together out of the pen.
Here's the cutter from Mason Bixby. Really just 2 pitches we've seen him throw as well. He started his outing by facing Carson Wells, got him with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball right at the knees. And works inside now 1-1.
If his role, let's just say if his role becomes a setup guy or a back-end guy, let's just leave it at that, which part of it, whether it's the 7th through the 9th or closer, whichever role it might be, possibly now or into the future. You don't have to have more than 2 pitches if you're in there for 3 outs, maybe 6 outs. Now, if you're going to extend it, then you like to be able to go in there and have 3 pitches. Right now, he's been doing this with really a fastball and then an occasional, high 80 cutter. But, you can think that moving into the future, if it is going to be for him on the back end, and he can attack like he's been doing today, I mean, you're staring at a guy that could be your setup guy. A lot of different things with that fastball.
Trying to jam Wells inside. Just missed on that 1-2 fastball. The possibilities sort of endless the way we're seeing it now. The way he's being stretched out. First outing. This could be your weekend rotation guy if the off-speed stuff gets developed a little bit more. You're 2-2 to Wells. USC trying to counter after that 2-run gut punch last inning. Back up in the middle. That's how you do it. Carson Wells with a base hit as he takes that 94-mile-an-hour fastball right back up the box. A 7th hit of the day for USC.
Popular spot today. Both teams have been just cranking ground ball after ground ball and line drive back up the middle. Good piece of hitting.
Dean Carpentier now looking for his first hit today. Does have a walk in this game. Grounded out to short first time he faced Bixby. And goes the opposite way. Hit it well, but right at Luke Boyers, who has it lined up. Pretty aggressive by Wells getting off the bag, but he's able to scamper back, and there are 2 outs in the 7th.
The ball was hit well. In the middle of the plate, drove it out to right field. veteran Boyers gets behind that ball when he saw the, as you said, it, a kind of an aggressive jump out of off first base towards second, trying to get behind it so he can get something on his throw.
All of a sudden you look up, Ty. We had so much scoring early. It just felt like this was going to be another one of those marathon games. USC down to their final 7 outs now. Has 4 runs to make up. 9-5 game.
Well, they got 7 of the toughest outs to get. Some of those late innings, particularly when your bullpens has had to participate a lot already.
This is the toughest out right now in the USC lineup. Harrison, that was in there for a strike anyway. 0-1 to Kaikia Harrison, 8 for 15 this year. And in this last 2-game stretch, has gone 5 for 7. Takes a fastball inside 1-1. He got the first hit off Bixby back in the 5th inning. So you have Harrison toward the bottom of the order, then Galloway, the 2-hole hitter, who's 3 for 3 with a walk. So there are guys for USC. A little drag bunt, trying to surprise everybody. It's picked up by the catcher in a beautiful throw by Byrne. Well, Byrne took a big gamble. It looked like that ball was rolling foul, but he trusted his arm and he makes the play. We played 7.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose, to get the job done right.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
Kane Brown in the Air Tour. Saturday, September 14th, Globe Life Field. Special guests, Cole Swindell, Locash, and Ray Lynn. Crossover superstar Kane Brown Live. So thank God I get to on sale now at KaneBrownMusic.com. Presented by AEG Presents.
Today's broadcast is brought to you by Kubota. You need equipment with more reliability and versatility built in, like Kubota BX and L Series compact tractors rated #1 in durability and owner experience. As we near nightfall at Globe Life Field in Arlington, fans still hanging around. As we go into the 8th inning, TCU has built up a little cushion. 9-5 as we go to the 8th. The new pitcher, Xavier Martinez. We've already seen Ty, one really good CSUN transfer for USC already out there, is I should say in this game in general here, and now we get another one. Xavier Martinez from Chula Vista, the CSUN transfer, will give them a lot of depth. He was 4-1, 229 and 20 appearances last year for CSUN, and a guy who is off to a pretty solid start this year. Martinez will come in for his 2nd appearance against TCU. He was probably the best bullpen arm on Friday night. 2 1/3 innings, 1 hit, and 2 walks given up in that span. He at least got USC some zeros on the board into the 9th inning. Trojans had the rally, 3 runs to take the lead, and Martinez was in line for the win there.
This is when you start to discover how they bounce back, because he threw on Friday, and historically on a weekend you're going to throw on Friday an inning or 2, with the idea of trying to win, and then being able to be efficient enough, strong enough to come back and throw on Sunday, and your stuff looked the same. or maybe even be better, having already been out there once.
Misses low, 1-1. Ali Camarillo in our previous game from Texas A&M. Teammate with the guy we're watching on the mound right now. Xavier Martinez, that one is just fair. Sneaks inside the bag, and it's an easy way to retire Logan Maxwell to start this 8th inning as Carpentier steps on it.
But that ball stayed fair. I think Maxwell thought it was going to go foul by his body reaction. Like it caught just the edge of first base and stayed fair.
Now faces Carson Bowen. Swiss Army knife is what Andy Stankiewicz called Xavier Martinez back in the fall. He's able to come out and over a couple of outings against TCU, keep them off the board in, say, 3-4 innings combined would be awfully impressive. Good life with that sinking fastball. Just misses that time, 2-0.
But if the Trojans going to have a chance to crawl back in this, it would help their odds and their chances if they could put a 0 up.
There's a strike in there on 2-0. Big West honorable mention pitcher last year after a good season. Mentioned the numbers, 2.29 ERA, which was best on the team. Opponents hit just 2.10 on him, and that was after a 1.74 ERA a couple years ago. Here he misses, and it's 3-1. TCU does have a pinch hitter getting ready in Peyton Toley's spot at DH after he got hit for the second time his last trip up and exited. And that misses upstairs. 1-out walk to Carson Bowen, and now we'll see the pinch hitter option for TCU as they go to the utility man and Zach Wadas.
He's officially checked in.
Welcome to the game. This, checking the numbers, is his first AB as a Horned Frog. Wadas. A utility guy who can contribute in a number of ways. Takes a called strike from Chandler, Arizona, out of Hamilton High School, which has produced a whole lot of top-level talent. And it's not just pitchers, apparently, today making their collegiate debuts for Kirk Sarlos on that TCU side. Big kid, though, 6'4", 190 as a freshman. And a big wave and a miss on a changeup, 0-2.
Good-looking changeup, too. He was mainly slider. First time he threw, and particularly with the right-handed hitters. He just dialed up a pretty good changeup to pitch before.
Back to the changeup. Nice sequence there by Xavier Martinez. Gets a quick strikeout for the second out as Luke Boyers comes back for another AB.
We dialed 2 of the 4 pitches were change-ups. I'll tell you what, he attacked him with the changeup. It wasn't just trying to nibble on it, or he attacked it. Produced 2 good swing misses at it.
It's 3 innings now of relief against TCU between Friday night and tonight, without giving up a run. Just a single hit in that span as a fastball misses to Boyers. Swing and a miss. That's a good-looking changeup. Especially all the more impressive when you consider Martinez has faced TCU once already. They've seen him not just on film, but in live action. Boyers, fair ball to the right side. Two very convenient plays for Carpentier to make over there at first. As Martinez does his job once again, stays 9-5 to the bottom of the 8th.
Your pride and joy is measured in acres. Keep them looking their best with the Kubota lineup. Versatile sidekick utility vehicles. The #1 rated tractor brand for durability and owner experience. Professional grade mowers for a professional cut. It's equipment built with one purpose: to get the job done right.
Prime by Solo Stove, you can finally think outside the cardboard box. The best pizza isn't delivered to the front door. It's made in the backyard. It doesn't come from a restaurant. It comes from you. Anywhere can be your favorite pizza spot. Any day of the week, all year long. Pie Prime is the pizza oven that's simple enough to be your first and powerful enough to be your last. Pie Prime by Solo Stove.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
After a great 3-inning spell for Mason Bixby out of the pen for TCU, Horned Frogs look to a guy who got off to a great start this year, but looking for some redemption after a tough outing last night. Zachary Collier back out there as we go to the bottom of the 8th. Almost all of our scoring came early, 6-4 after 2. All the TCU runs since then have been unearned, with 3 USC errors, including 2 on the same play, though, on 2 runs to score in the 7th. And there's Zachary Collier. Great opportunity time for him to bounce back. It was so good to start the season. Basically unhittable, but he was at the heart of that Arizona State 6-run rally in the 7th last night. As they took the lead, Collier gave up 3 of those runs on 4 hits in 2/3 of an inning.
Sometimes, like as an infielder, if you're making a mistake, like you can't wait for some people can't wait for the next one to get hit to them so they can prove they can go do it, right? And show, I can go hit me another one, hit me another one. Well, pitching sometimes the same way. If you don't have the outing you're used to and you want to do better, it's a compliment from your coach to say, all right, we're going to get you back out there, and the sooner the better than having to stew over it for a couple of days.
And it's a pinch hitter to start this 8th. Deuce Robinson comes out. Ethan Hedges, who started each of the first 2 games of the weekend, is in as a pinch hitter. And Collier, in his first 5 appearances, 9 2/3, 5 hits, no runs. Then last night, as he finds his own on a curveball, 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 3 runs. Just how life can change in a hurry for a relief pitcher. And Arizona State, it wasn't like he was making bad pitches. They just came out and attacked right away. It was a lot of first pitch swings. Sliced foul the other way. Hot shot off the bat, and it stays 0-2.
Yeah, and they had some balls they rolled through there. Like they were good pitches, just part of the game where, they're not necessarily just smoked balls. They just find their way through there, and that's part of the game too, by the way. I bet they were anxious, when they sat down at the coaches meeting last night or this morning, going through who do we have, and more times than not, you work backwards more than forward on, what inning and how far, and I bet you they were anxious to get him back out there.
It works nicely when you consider all the arms that have already been used for TCU, and Collier didn't throw a ton of pitches. So he's back out there for a 2nd straight game. 0-2 the count. Joss misses on a curveball. And that's fouled off.
Man, TCU from the mound, I would say from the third on, has really been able to execute and locate fastballs in on SC's hitters.
Another ball down the right field line that continues to slice and goes foul.
And when you do that, you can kind of get that hitter sped up because he's trying to, catch up and get the barrel there in time. And obviously that opens the window and the door for being able to throw the breakers away if you've got it, or a cutter away. But they've been able to execute fastballs in. And you've heard me say this, at most of college baseball, they throw the ball away.
Called strike 3. That was a pitch away.
It was.
It catches the black.
Yep, but they've been able to disguise that because they've been able to go in. Well, not many people are going to hit that one right there, by the way.
Hedges cold off the bench. Watches that 94-mile-an-hour heater catch the outside of the zone. There's a reason why Zachary Collier did not give up a hit, or should not give up a run, I should say, over 5 hits, 9 2/3 innings to start his season with TCU. Sort of figured that wasn't the guy that Kirk Saarloos had seen to start the season, as he fires a first pitch strike on Auburn. So looking to get back to his form. To the right side. Nice high hop for Bowen to take, and it's a quick 2 outs in this bottom of the 8th.
The different, he's attacking him with that fastball now. He's getting after him with it. Both sides of the plate. Inside part, outside part. 2 quick outs.
Even going back to fall, Kirk Saarloos envisioned a big role for Zachary Collier. McLennan JUCO transfer. This is chopped to the left side. Covarrubias sends it to Ryder Robinson. What a bounce back for Collier. Lightning fast inning as we've played 8. 9th inning coming next. Final game of the weekend from Globe Life Field. Well, earlier we told you just how many raw hours we've had, and we have to shout out the crew. Some of the camera guys, Graham, Pranav, Wade, Jimmy, Jeff, doing just an outstanding job. Graham Rayner, Pranav Bhatt, Wade Reeves, Jimmy Brett, Jeff Turner, Pat Leal, Roman Montoya. All the crew have done a great job. Not just the camera guys, though. We've got our audio engineers, Joel Fruth, Kerry Deeringer. Kerry's done a great job getting our coaches set up on those in-game interviews for us all weekend. Jeff Oswald, Zach Geld, Daryl Pierce, such a crucial part of the team all weekend. Jake Montoya, Austin Littleton has had the tireless job of updating that little, there's Pranav over there. Austin's had the job of updating the little box you see there, bottom of your screen, the balls and the strikes. AJ Godinez, our technical manager, John Daly. And Shelby Geyers, one of our technical directors. Same deal for Scott Daly, who's been tremendous all weekend. And leading the way, our lead producer, Phil Hopwood. He's been the man in charge of all of it, done an outstanding job, along with Lucas Haskins, our coordinating producer. Would not work without them. And, man, 3 weekends, most of those fine folks we just named have been here since weekend number 1, every single game. A lot of hours of baseball, and still cranking it out here as we go into the 9th inning of our 21st game.
Thank you guys. You guys have been incredible for the 2 weekends I've been here, and all 3 that you guys have been here. I tip my hat to you. And I tell you what, the other piece of it, you guys have been awesome to us as people and inviting us in and letting us share this whole weekend with you guys.
They've shared their food with us.
They did.
We've been doing the sprint down to the basement, the TV truck, those 45 minutes in between games. It's an 0-2 count to Ryder Robinson. Well, TCU played in the final game of this event last year, and they got a big upset. They lost to Mizzou in extra innings, and that was after 2 tremendous wins. They blew out Arkansas, pummeled Vanderbilt, and TCU was really the talk of the college baseball world to start last year. And then on a Sunday night, Mizzou got them, even though TCU came back in the 9th inning to force extras. So this is sort of a similar situation, right, Ty? You come out, 2 impressive, emotional wins to start your weekend. This is fouled back by Robinson and trying to close the door. Joint champions of this weekend of the Kubota College Baseball Series with Texas A&M. Each would go to 3-0 on the weekend if they're able to get the win.
For the coaches, it's been informative, winning or losing. You get to go back, go to work when this is all over with.
Outside on 1-2.
Well, I'll say you get to go back and go to work. You play. Most of these guys are going to play on Tuesday, but you get information out of all of these games. I think obviously for TCU, what they learned today is they've got some guys in the bullpen that stepped in for their first time and threw good today. Like USC gives them a chance to go to work.
It's a fair ball. Harrison, long throw. That's a tremendous play by Kaikia Harrison, who's had a great weekend all around as they nab Ryder Robinson.
Long throw. He's got to go back over and circle this ball. Get behind it. Try to get as much as you can on it out of your arm. Use a quick release and fire it all the way across. We're going to get another look. It's late to third baseman because it's off the left-hander's bat. They can't circle that ball. Fired all the way across and just got him, I think.
I thought they got him in real time, but umpires will take a look at it. Chris Griffith, our home plate umpire, here with 1 out in the 9th. It is Xavier Martinez back out for his second inning in relief. There has been a stock riser for USC. It's been this man, Kaikia Harrison, and combined with the unknown that we have, it was really unfortunate, the collision at home plate. Bryce Martin Grudzelanek lost for the weekend. We're not sure what his status will be going forward. Staff told us they'll get that checked out when they get back to LA. They go back right after this game. They have a midweek game at Cal State Fullerton Tuesday, but it looked like his wrist swelled up pretty good on him, and who knows, maybe they will be in need of a infielder replacement more in the long term, and Harrison has certainly made his claim to that position. As his head coach Andy Stankiewicz looks on.
Yeah, like I said, there's so much information that comes out of this, and moving forward, the unfortunate piece of it, as you were describing, is the injury part. I mean, SC, golly, and look, I don't know how this game's going to end. They're down to their last 3, but they competed, and I've seen teams where, misfortune, you haven't won, you're 2-8, you got close on Friday, you had it right there in your grasp to beat a really good team, grab some momentum. You don't. They kept playing hard. They come back the next day, they play hard. They've been back out here playing hard again.
They do confirm the call.
And they could have asked me. I thought he was out from the get-go,
you and me
right?
Both. They just wanted one more replay review before we're all said done. I wonder, we had that great stat last inning of all the different things that have happened over these 67-plus hours of baseball, last 3 weekends. How many reviews we've had? We've had a lot.
Well, you got them, use them. Can't take them home, will you? You don't get to add them to the next game.
Well, besides the time, forget all these games run together, but it was weekend 1 where they screwed up the count, and we had like a 3-minute review where they had to rewind the entire at bat. That was brutal. I'll be honest with you. That was like 9th inning, 4-hour game. There's a foul tip back by Kendrick. Outside of that, Ty, where you're telling the wrong guy. Getting a break for screwing up the count. Outside of that, yes, it has been utilized very efficiently.
Yeah. Well, you're telling the wrong guy. I like being here. I mean, I enjoy this, so I get it. I mean, at the pace of the game, and
I love being here too. Just when you got to wait 5 minutes for umpires to watch a 8-pitch at bat in real time to get the count right. That'll drive anybody crazy, you know. There's Micah Kendrick in a 1-2 count. So many memories created for all these teams and guys like Kendrick who get to make their debuts on this field. Swing and a miss here gets him out in front. Back to that changeup, which has been great for Martinez all weekend in his 2 appearances.
Sure has. He does a good job of getting to the inside of that changeup. That's how come you see it moving left to right and sinking away from those left-handed hitters, because he can. He gets his hand in and he does a great job of attacking it. And you know, the other piece of that too, I mean, our replay crew has been unbelievable because they have had so many, you know, replay where the umpires have had to go in there and check it, and they've given them the right camera angles to make the right calls.
The umpires totally relying on our crew, and they've been able to get all the key looks they need. So many close games too. We haven't had many blowouts. I think there was one last weekend that was in that category of a run rule, but outside of that, a lot of well-played games back and forth. We had a game last night, TCU and Arizona State, 2 different 6-run innings in the final 3 with change of leads. Shot in to the right side. That's Takeuchi. Bad throw. 4th error of the night for USC as the inning stays alive. What should have been routine. And for a coach who prides himself on his team playing the fundamentals well, that's been a frustrating part of tonight here for Andy Stankiewicz at USC.
Yeah, just a routine ground ball, shuffle, shuffle. Just got his hand up above it a little too much. Hold it over. You know, make that throw 100 times, he's going to make it 99. And just an unfortunate error. That's the part, I think, when they get back home, they're going to, you know, the defense has been rough on them, and they're a better defensive team. And look, they work on it all the time. There are different times in any season that you're going to have weekends where you don't play great defense, and I think that's going to be an emphasis when they get back home. Working on it, talking about it.
And Takeuchi is the guy who started the weekend in left field. Remember, it was Bryce Martin Grudzelanek, the guy who got hurt. He's their everyday second baseman. Now you're finding a sub for him. And as much as second base might not be on papers demanding a shortstop or third, it still is a position where you see a lot of balls at you. You have to be rock solid. That's a tough ask, too, when you start going down the depth chart at that position. Strike taken by Myers, who gets another AB.
There's a lot of people that will tell you, infielders will tell you that second base is a little bit harder to play than short because of the double play experience. And, you know, the feeds you get, you're kind of blind to your runner. But you don't have the longer throws. You know, I mean, and that's why, you know, usually you're better armed guys over at shortstop anyway. But, again, he just maybe held on to that ball just a little too long, throwing it. He'd probably like for him to hit it right back to him.
1-1 to Sam Myers. Down low, 2-1.
Not going to win many games when you got the number 4 in that E column. Makes it tough. Not saying it can't be done. I'm not saying it won't be done. It sure makes it tough.
Myers the opposite way. Ethan Hedges had the pinch hit for Robinson. He's into the game, lost his hat, but made the catch. And Sam Myers is retired as we go to the bottom of the ninth. Last chance for USC as they try to get a win before heading home. We'll have it for you next. TCU fans, they've been here all weekend patiently waiting, trying to get a 3-0 weekend for their Horned Frogs. Yeah, still engaged as we go to the 9th inning. 9-5 lead for TCU. Last ups for USC. Try to avoid the tough slog of what the Pac-12 results have been here. Looking at a combined 0-6 against the two Texas teams we have. TCU out of the Big 12, A&M out of the SEC. That's been virtual dominance by the Texas teams. No way around that with how it's played out so far this weekend. And it's Zachary Collier got the clean 8th inning. He's back out there looking to close the door in a 4-run game.
I think it's fair to say that two Texas teams, too. Look, you know, the TCU's been winning for a while, right? And you've had coaching changes at Arizona State and recently, and you know, Willie going back home, and then Andy coming back or coming to USC, and so I mean, you know, the Aggies and the Horned Frogs, their programs may be a little more established, if that's the right word.
That's very accurate, yeah.
And they're not far away. I believe, you know, we were talking about it yesterday. We're close. I mean, we're heading in the right direction. Each of them, we're heading in the right direction. We're close. I agree. I do. I know they're quality coaches. Now that part, I'm sure when I've watched both these teams play 3 times. Like the talent level. Love the competitiveness. I mean, USC. I mean, they've had every reason, you know, with injuries and not, you know, winning. They've had every reason, you know, personality-wise, to lay it down, and they have not done that.
1-2 count here to Jacob Galloway. The fact that USC still got a top 25 recruiting class to buy in when this fastball just misses, when you as a coach, Andy Stankwitz, have to go to them and say, hey, we aren't going to have any home games freshman year.
Yeah.
They still got some really talented pieces coming in.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, that's tough. I mean, that's a tough recruiting. I mean, but he as a college player and a professional player, Coach Stankiewicz's reputation was as a go-getter, a hustler, play hard, get after it every day, you know, and just play the game the way it's supposed to be played. And I think his personality bleeds into his team.
Galloway has had so many good ABs. 3 for 3, 3 singles, 3 RBI, 2 walks now. Coach Stankiewicz still hard at work. Think about how different, too, the tenor of this game could have been, and just the weekend coming out of this for USC. They're up in the 9th inning. They're up 2 runs on TCU. Chance to close the door, get an upset win. Were it not for a couple of really rough mistakes in the field, this would be a 6-5 game right now. And TCU, they threw a ton of pitches in their closer, Ben Abelt, who struggled blowing a save to USC Friday. Not a lot of arms they really trust here down the home stretch. I mean, this would be a totally different calculus, and yet just feels like there's a lot more cushion here with the 4-run edge. Pinch hitter right now, Ryan Jackson in there for Takeuchi.
Well, that's what I mean by they're going to go back. They're going to go back and work hard and on the defensive side of it. And, you know, this is going to sound like an excuse. And I don't, coaches don't like to do that. And I'll say it. It's hard when you got to leave to go to practice somewhere else. It's hard to, and in the end, they're going to get a new facility, right? So this is not a complaint from anybody, but this is just the way it is today, the present. It's hard to go out and get extra work when you got to go drive somewhere to a different field. You got to go do. I mean, it's just hard. You know, you can't just show up early. Go, you know, you're done with class. I'm going to go to the field or take extra fungo, do extra things defensively. And you know, I mean, that's just what that's where it is for them right now, right? They're not complaining about it. You didn't hear them say anything like, "Oh my God," you know, none of that. But me, I'm looking at it like, you know, most of these guys, you know, TCU, they can come out of class and head right over there and get the fungo machine out and get busy.
Little jam shot up the middle. Robinson has been so steady over there at short. He's getting the spot start tonight for the talented sophomore Anthony Silva. Been a really impressive showing from Ryder Robinson, the freshman from Utah, and that's a first out. Galloway moves up to second.
Good recognition. He knew he wasn't going to get a double play. You got to lead. Don't create an inning for him. You got a 4-run lead. Let's take an out. You're just swapping outs right now. Didn't try to make something out of it, try to, press it over to second base. And really, truly, the pitcher did a good job on that ball. He thought about going after that ball, but it was going to be a tough play. Didn't, because he knew the shortstop could come in and make that play.
Another pinch hitter for SC, J.T. Walden. He's been a pinch hitter each of the last 2 games. SC had Connor Clift out there, a third catcher option out in the field after DePaulo was pinch hit for in the 7th. Clift will not hit for himself here. It's Walden, 5 for his first 14 this year. And he spanks one foul. 0-2 with 1 out. A couple of defensive changes as well for TCU. They moved Sam Myers from center over to left, and then Chase Brunson, who started the first 2 games of the series this weekend for TCU. There's Myers in left. Brunson brought into center field. That's how it looks for the Horned Frogs. Fastball up high on 0-2. And there is Chase Brunson, who's had a pretty big weekend as well. Scored the game-winning run, part of that 11-inning walk-off against SC Friday night. Swing and a miss. Pretty looking curveballs. Walden is set down on strikes, and TCU's an out away.
Watch a good-looking breaker. It starts in the hitting area for a left-handed hitter. Would look like an inside fastball to him. That breaker just ducks his head and runs right away from that barrel.
This has been a totally different pitcher than the guy we saw last night, Zachary Collier. Carson Wells, first pitch, rolls it over.
It wouldn't surprise me after the game last night or this morning at team breakfast if he didn't walk up, Colliers didn't walk up to to Kirk Saarloos and said, "Coach, I want the baseball back."
0-2 the count. Collier responsible partially, gave up the final 3 runs of a 6 spot for Arizona State that had given the Sun Devils the lead. TCU, though, they've been masters of the rally all year. They came back 6 spot right back in the next half inning, hung on for an 11-9 win. Just inside on 0-2. Chance to join Texas A&M with dueling 3-0 weekends. 1 strike away for Zachary Collier. Horned Frog fans on their feet. Swing and a miss. That does it. A perfect weekend punctuated with a K for Collier, and the Horned Frogs go to 12-0.
How about the bullpen performance by the TCU Horned Frogs after getting an injury early in the game? As you see Collier throwing that last breaker to get the last strikeout of the weekend. But what a performance. I mean, I tell you what, Kirk Saarloos has got to feel great about the idea of the way his bullpen performed today. And, Bigsby, the freshman, Bigsby comes out and 95 to 98 was just electric and powerful. I just think that they learned a lot about their bullpen and who they are and the direction that they're going.
Kirk Saarloos told us mid-game it would be a lot of untested players, and they certainly got that. Mason Bixby makes his collegiate debut, 3 tremendous innings out of the pen, and a whole lot of young production. Just over 6,500 in the building for this game tonight to wrap up this weekend of action. And Kirk Saarloos has to be happy with where his team is at.
They find ways, create ways to win, and they do a good job of preventing ways to lose. I mean, again, I thought when they had to go to the pen today after a 5-game week, it was going to be tough, but they figured it out.
Ready to go back down to the field. Sam Myers from TCU is our player of the game. Well, it wasn't quite a walk-off, Sam, but still a tremendous offensive performance for your team. What just in general this whole weekend was working so well for your guys' approach at the plate?
Yeah, I think we just needed to stick with our game plan and continue to have quality at-bats and just get to first base and just do what we do and do what we know how to do.
How about a shout out to your pitcher, Mason Bixby, in his college debut. Guy absolutely dealt out of the pen tonight. As a fellow freshman, had to make you so proud to see that on the mound.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he went out there. I'm sure he was a little nervous, but he went out there and shoved. He showed what he can do.
As far as you guys, for freshmen coming in, you watched this TCU team go to Omaha last year. What's it like to come in now, make an immediate impact for a team that has aspirations of getting back there again this year?
Yeah, you got to give credit to the older guys on this team that have welcomed us and just showed us how things go around here.
Sam Myers, our player of the game. Hey, your team off to its best start since 1985. You were not born then. You weren't close to being born.
Yeah.
Been a pretty fun time watching you guys play. Congrats, man, on the great success this weekend. Best of luck going forward.
Yeah, thank you.
A 9-5 win for TCU as they knock off USC. Sam Myers, cool, calm, and collected throughout all of it. He had a walk-off hit in the 11th Friday night. Big game today with 3 hits and 2 RBI. Well, for the final time, we say so long from Globe Life Field for our outstanding crew, led by our lead producer, Infield Hopwood, and for Ty Harrington. Ty, it was a blast working with you all weekend.
Unbelievable.
Had a lot of fun.
Big-time weekend.
For Ty, I'm Ben Wilson saying so long. 24 games in the books from Globe Life Field over the last 3 weekends. 21 of them right here on Flow Sports. We can't thank those of you who tuned in enough for watching. Our final score in our final game, TCU 9, USC 5, as the Horned Frogs finish the weekend 3-0.